Hello, chat. Sorry, we are
Hello.
both late and gay. Baby decided
Well-
that Daddy Daycare just wasn't gonna do. Daddy lasted all of about how many minutes before he reappeared with Baby in tow.
Well, Baby was very insistent about the matter.
She was, and also very stinky, which is probably why she was insistent about the matter. How is chat today? I see monkeys. Monkey's been buying doggies.
Monkey's been buying doggies and has invited us to come play with the dog.
Yes. Has he? I want to come play with the dog. Monkey, we're gonna come play with the dog. In fact, no, bring the doggy here. You can run around
Yes,
the garden.
bring
You can
doggy.
play with Bandit.
Yeah, it's an itty bitty doggy.
Hector says, "How many doggies?" I think he just got one doggy. I think he's too. They're too expensive for him to buy more than one doggy.
I don't know if he didn't clarify whether it was purebred or not, but he did say it's a Shiba, so it might be.
I know he's been eyeing up a Shiba for a long time. King
He
George.
may eventually answer the questions.
Yes, and that leads me in nicely. I've got at the top of the screen. I'm doing a kib, trying to squeeze chat video starring King George. We have a goal. I'll get my little camera
Yes.
out. I'll chase George around the flat, poke him a little bit, see if we can make him squeak, and then edit a video of him. Maybe like a documentary. Here we see a George in the wild.
Here we see the wild King George. We see him stalking the small human known as Discordia.
Wallace is on it.
I hope they fix the progress sharing in
I know.
the sequel.
I know. It's just pit. So who have we got? We've got LGM. I see a wild Bezek. I see Earl. I see Squawks. Squawks. Hello.
Squawks.
Earl again. Hector Rex. Monkey.
Yes.
How
We
do-
also have joining us on alternative channels. We have Prime Night, somehow also LGM, and Marku, and that's it so far there.
Turn a player's co-op. How do I turn it on to co-op?
You have to enter the level first.
Oh, you have to edit it.
Because-
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Earl says, "Hello, monkey. Good day, Bezek."
G'day, Al.
Just go out and pray. Exactly. I'll like chase him out, and then I'll hide behind the sofa with my camera. Like, now we see the George, wandering, looking for food. He yells. George is like, "Yes, food. That would be a great idea. I will feed you, George, but you're so much noisier when you're hungry." And chat likes it when you're noisy. So you screwed yourself over.
Yes, George has made a critical calculation error because it turns out that he's worth more money hungry.
Looks like we are doing the vehicles. Boo. But it looks like they
At
put
least
all the
it looks like
vehicles
they're all
in one level.
Yeah, at least it looks like they've dumped them all in one, so that's hopefully fine.
George, get your claws out my leg.
LGM's screaming, "Kitty!"
Jenny knows this. Hey, Georgie Porgy. Oh, continue. Right, so now we have to press
Escape.
aha! Allow another player to join and assist you. Yes. Invite friend.
Yay!
Invite friend. Mr. Bezek.
Ooh, it has dinged. It has given me a button. It is pretending to load.
Yay! Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't giving me a button last time. It's like, no, you shall not join. I'm just gonna tell you he's invited you. Well, George, if you sit where you're sitting, you are now my keyboard rest.
Okay. Oh, So we've got the van, the plane, the techno trousers, and the snowmanatron, all in one level. Now, see, if you're gonna do vehicles, that's how you do it. You shove them all in one bloody level.
You say that until we find out that they all have those little bits that you can't get.
Yeah, they will. Snowmanatron looks pretty rough. The vehicles aren't the greatest part, but to be fair, I think this probably actually features vehicles. Unlike some of them, where it's like, here, have a fucking invisible boat.
Invisible boat, yeah. I mean, I guess if they're
actually,
iconic.
The invisible boat was actually my favourite of the vehicles in the SpongeBob DLC, just because it was.
It was novel,
unique,
yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, it's going by fairly quick. We're already on 14%.
Yeah.
Command,
Hopefully
clean all
they've
the
started
vehicles. Ah yes, but hasty. Might wash all the cars in Preston. Clean all the vehicles in front yard, please. George,
Yes.
stop wiggling. You are my... It's your own fault. You've sat in the way, so now you get to be my keyboard rest. These just look like fingerprints, giant fingerprints. Somebody's literally just touched this with giant dirty hands.
It does look like fingerprints, doesn't it?
It does.
Did they cheap out on the textures?
Yeah, they must have done.
Or are they joking about it being claymation, everything having to be moved by hand?
Oh, maybe.
It's hard to... little column A, little column B.
Are they that clever?
I don't know. Is it worth giving them the benefit of the doubt?
Not sure. I mean, it could be.
Oh.
And it'd be clever if it was. But it could just be that...
What I am hoping, though, is we can con the developers into giving us a review key when the sequel's nearly ready. Because, come on, guys, we've put out a lot of bloody content to your first game. Give us a key. You know we'll play the shit out of the game.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know if they will or not. They might be like, cannot touch more.
Yeah. Well, what's actually shocking is I've gotten enough keys of games that I'm actually somewhat interested in that I'm thinking about adding an extra video per week.
Nice. Have you actually been going out of your way to request them, or just?
Yeah. That's the way it works for the most part. You got to request them. Like I could have probably had 100 games if I was willing to request utter garbage and Unity asset flips.
Yeah. I really need to actually Hey, George, could you get off? Because you're making it quite difficult, to be honest. I'm having to go between you and the Bubba, because I'm quite sure the Bubba will be back before the hour is up. This whole daddy daycare thing. It's not.
It's not working as described on the tin?
No, it's not.
But yeah, like one of the games I got was actually the new DLC for a game I've already bought all the other DLC for. So I'm sitting there going, yes, fucking score.
Nice. Well, now you're gonna have to play it.
Well, yeah, now I've got to make a video out of it, but it's like, I was gonna play it anyway, but now I get, all I have to do is make a video of me playing the game I was going to play anyway.
Well, we should maybe have a look and see if any of the games that we want to stream is on there. We could
I've had a look at some.
Maybe do that. Be like, oh, we will definitely stream the shit out of it.
Yes. Yes, more. That is legitimately fingerprints.
Yeah, it does look like fingerprints.
It's definitely
Rector Rex says, watch out for the shifter in the invisible boat. You can watch out for anything in the invisible boat.
Yeah, just be careful where you sit down, I guess. But yeah, if I can get some reasonably decent games out of it, you should be able to do so as well, having, you know, larger channel.
That's true. Yeah, we definitely have to have a think and be like, right, well maybe we can actually get a streaming key for the ones we're interested in doing.
Well, that's it. If we, even if you get the streaming key, that'll still be worthwhile. Any, because we're both a bit short on the old dollars and pounds.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, they'll be yelling outside.
They're very excited outside.
Little people. Excitable little people.
Yep. God, your microphone is amazing. That comes through like they're in the room with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're outside or if they're upstairs, but they're But they're not very quiet, are they? Oh no, they're outside the window. Well, apparently outside the window is the play area.
Yeah. What happened to seen and not heard? I joke, but kids playing outside is a rarity these days.
Is there another one was like, I was told there'd be kitty noises. There was. George, come here. Come here.
There he is.
Come on. Chat wants to hear you. Meow. Hi, George. Oh, Georgie Porter, don't pick my chair. Please and thank you. Wow, wow. So nothing else like, Kitty! And it's indeed Kitty. Do you mind not loving my keyboard so hard that you press buttons?
Actually press buttons. Yeah, always fun when the cat does that.
Don't pick my chair! Be an ex-kitty! Reach your previously known as kitty.
Yeah. Prime says Disco got spy level grade mic. Can spy on the neighbour's neighbour.
Yeah, maybe. I have no idea. Well, they are pretty loud again if I can hear them. I don't know how sometimes you can hear you coming through the earbud headphones through the microphone. You're like, I hear Bezek.
Well,
I'm like, I don't know how.
And you're like, but I can't.
Like, if I take out my ear, I won't be able to hear Bezek.
I reckon it's because they don't completely seal. It's just bouncing backwards, being funneled out like a loud megaphone. The reverse from your ears, because ears are shaped to funnel sounds to a point. So if the sounds are
£15 donated £5
presumably
for the George Fund.
That can reverse the effect.
We got £5 for the George Fund. Sorry to interrupt you. The other Australian guy was talking over the top of you. Thank you very much.
I don't hear them.
We will keep going with the George Fund.
Yes, the George Fund. Speaking of, Prime says Cisco sets up cat stream cam. Surprise Gracie face and loud screen.
I actually mocked up on that because it was supposed to be 50 and 500. That's optimistic. But,
I was thinking that might be a bit tough to achieve in one stream.
Optimistic. Right, so we're $5 in. Let me just end that call.
Just fix that shortly.
No, we just fixed. That was supposed to be 50. So we're $5 in, so we'll put that there. And then we got it wants dates. I don't even know what day it is. 25. There we go. That it was just when I was like, that line's really, really teeny tiny. There we go. And I was like, I'm doing
better.
my part. So we're 10% of the way to the George video.
Yeah. Now, remember, as an ITM service guarantees citizenship. Would you like to know more?
Also brings
Prime
George
says when
videos.
Bezek gets donations, oh, thanks for $5. It's going to be pizza tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
It's like, I shall get me
let's
something
put
nice.
it this way: there's a reason Bezek has Streamlabs set to US dollars, not Australian dollars.
Well, I was gonna be putting like when I had the memberships, what I wanted to do with that was like have like George shorts and stuff on it.
Members only cat content.
Yeah. You know. So that there was actually a reason to sign up for membership. Well, then YouTube was like, you don't get members, silly.
You want to raise a small human? No, screw you. We will steal all your money.
So instead, I was like, right, you know what? We'll see if we can't make some George videos and give a reason for donating.
Yes, turn the loud noises into money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just chasing around with a video camera. Then I'll have to edit it. But documentary music over the top. Or Benny Hill, depending on what he's doing at the time. If he's got zoomies, I might put Benny Hill.
That's not a bad choice.
Speaking
Speaking
says, I return the buggy like a citizen, not a civilian.
Nice. Speaking of music, turns it out that in the US, everything made by a federal employee in the course of their duties goes into public domain immediately.
Are you telling
It
this
also
story
turns out-
again?
No, not this story.
You-
It also turns out that the US military has a lot of bands, so there's a shitload of free music just sitting there on Wikipedia, up for the taking. It's like, oh, you want this classical music? Oh, you need the anthem of a country? Here is the US something or other band. It's free.
Interesting.
So I've been collecting a bunch of classical music to go under the soundtrackless sections of some of my videos.
Nice.
It is.
I've been
A lot
quite
cheaper than
enjoying this
actually having
music,
to
to be
do
honest.
this
I'm
shit.
hoping it's coming through on the stream today, because we've had problems in the past. But hopefully it's coming through today. I'm quite enjoying this music. It's like fantasy music. It's quite good. Well, it was quite good for the stuff we were doing. I don't know so much about what's in Gromit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if claymation's a genre. Of music, that is.
Please says Bezek makes videos. What?
Bleach is right to be concerned. He's in them.
I feel like this is gonna be one of those levels.
Yeah, it's not the worst so far, but yeah, there are a few things where it's like, how is that possibly dirty?
Oh, the mirror's dirty. You can see that from here. The window's dirty.
Yeah, the sun visor's apparently dirty, somehow.
Oh, how the window's dirty. There we go.
Yeah.
Trump commissions the U.S. military bands to play every song and puts them all into the public domain.
That would be an excellent. That would be a better use of funds than funding freaking underwater feminist basket weaving in Australia.
Yeah. I would think so. In fact, you know what? That leads us quite nicely into the first thing that I wanted to yap about.
Oh dear.
Let's bring that up. Here we go. Nancy Pelosi loses eye-popping millions in just 3 days thanks to Trump's tariffs.
Yay! So we're already winning.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked too much into the tariffs. Like, some people are reading about it, some people are like, meh, well, you know, tough shit. But all I'm gonna say is every cloud has a silver lining. So, yeah, you know how she is, like, amazingly good at stocks? Like, almost uncannily good at stocks. Almost like she knows in advance what's about to be good and what's about to not be good. Well, it seems like her lucky streak.
She's got a little bit of inside knowledge.
Yeah, it seems like her lucky streak just came to an end.
But what I find funny is the same group of lunatics that were having their city and hippie protest on Wall Street are now crying because Wall Street's getting its ass kicked.
I mean, it's anything.
I thought
anything
Wall Street
but
was bad.
Trump, though, isn't it? Like,
Literally, they would vote for Hitler if Trump said he was bad.
it's like we hate these people, but we hate Trump more. Well, I think it's really funny that she's lost all that money because.
Yep. Sadly, it's not all. It's not even a significant percentage because she's
Probably
been doing insider trading for a long time. But it is hilarious. It's
It
hilarious.
is almost like she knows. Yeah. Oh no! Now she's only worth 590 million. It's a silver lining. Damn it! Stop being no. Silver linings. Oh, hello, George.
Techno Trousers panel.
I like how they're like, she has constantly ranked as one of the wealthiest lawmakers in Capitol Hill. I wonder why. It's uncanny, her ability to read the stock market.
Yeah.
Uncanny,
It's almost
I
as
tell
if she
you.
has insider knowledge.
George, I can't reach the keyboard when you sit there, mate.
Woohoo! Done.
Yeah. Yay! Yeah, the time lapse on this is a bit poo.
Yeah. But at least it was all the vehicles in one level, and it wasn't that long. It wasn't long enough to really piss me off.
Her federally mandated financial disclosures often give insight into her personal holdings, though she claims that Clay tries to hand it by her spouse. Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay, and where does he get the information from? To
Ooh,
make
moon
his
rocket. We're going to the
prescient
moon.
decisions.
Bezek, to the moon!
Oh, yes, nice.
To the moon!
To the moon! Yes, George, to the moon. Moon cat.
Yes. Over the last decade, the California Democrat and her husband, Paul Pelosi, and an extraordinarily successful venture. Oh, does
Doesn't it?
go inside it?
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Shiny.
Yes, they've done extraordinarily well, almost like they had more knowledge than perhaps the rest of us. What the hell happened in here?
I mean, that's an excellent question for all these maps. Let's see. What they have been to Blackpool, Beaconsfield, and Bognor, apparently.
Looks like they had a picnic. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Oh, I found the edge of the map.
Oh.
Wonder if I can escape it like I did
Is
last
it made
time.
of cheese?
No, there's no cheese. I'm disappointed.
Now, why is there no cheese?
No cheese.
We've been ripped off. Are there any weird gnomes hiding in craters?
$270 million is our net worth. Just
Friggin' hell.
Forget those diamond hands, Nancy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess something brought her lucky streak to an end.
Shocking. But yeah, I'm so cut up that Wall Street is suffering massively. Someone posted a picture of like all the different stocks and they're all in the red on Twitter, and the caption is just we play our fucking video games.
Should have just left us the hell alone. It's true though. We did just want to play our video games. We just wanted to be left alone. If they just left us alone.
Yeah.
But no, they had to keep putting in their big old globalist nonsense fucking bullshit plan. And now they've had to be punished time and time and time again.
I did see one of our associates over on the super secret server say that Europe and America are supposed to be on friendly terms. I'm like, could someone fucking tell Europe? They've been exploiting the American taxpayer and then acting like they're fucking superior the whole fucking time. It's like, why wouldn't the Americans be annoyed and sick of their shit?
Yeah, they probably, I mean, with all the stuff that's coming out of the US aid thing, like, they probably had way more in US aid than they're taking back in tariffs.
Yep.
And you know what? Like, because everybody keeps going, oh, but there's special relationship with the UK and the US. It's like, well, maybe somebody should have told our current cabinet that when they spent the last decade from the side benches fucking taking snipes at Donald Trump, and now suddenly when he's in office they're like, oh, but why is he don't like us very much?
Well, my incumbent bunch of pedophiles, I mean politicians, even though the first one's accurate, had to replace our US ambassador, the second Trump one, because he spent the previous 4 years mouthing off.
Well, yes, you'd think they'd have done the same here with Lammy, because Lammy has, there's always a tweet, and Lammy has definitely tweeted about Donald Trump in the past, not wanting him to even be allowed in the country. So, I mean, that's our foreign secretary. Like, he should have been stepped down the moment Trump got into power, because how can you have a foreign secretary that is that hostile towards the US president?
Yeah. But no, I think Europe has just exploited the US and then treated them. Bleach talks about it often, and how that Europeans and the Brits as well have this fucking superior attitude to the Americans. Then they're surprised when the Americans are like, oh, fine, fuck yous then.
I mean, the Americans, they do spell stuff funny.
Yes. And they're like, oh, but all languages made us like, yes, but not usually by some wanker in an afternoon with a quill pen like 27 minutes ago.
I mean, if they want me to take them seriously, they need to start spelling things right.
Yep.
I can hear the Americans gearing up to read in the chat. Make sure you spell it properly now. Grad Grim says, I've never heard a giggler referred to as a financial advisor. David Lammy as a foreign minister was an enlightened choice. I know, right? I mean, I can... With Starmer, the only thing I can think is, like, he's picked on purpose the most incompetent people that he could find in Labour, and the choice was ample, but he's really found the cream of the incompetent crop, just to make himself look better. Like, he's like, I want to look like as much of a tool if everybody around me is a bigger tool.
It's probably, I reckon, it's probably a counter for a no confidence vote. Oh, well, you could vote no confidence for Keir Starmer, but then David Lammy PM.
I mean, it's not the case though, because I think anybody can run for leadership, can't they? Anybody who's in the
Yep.
Any of the MPs can run for leadership, I think.
Which is
So-
apparently a step up from Canada, where apparently anyone in the party can just have leadership. They don't even need to be an MP.
So, like, I don't know how his cabinet would actually. I guess he doesn't want any of them to shine. Never be a
No,
kind
that's
of a
certainly not
backbencher.
shining.
Well, no matter how hard he tries to polish that turd, it's not shining.
Yeah.
But, like, it's almost as if he went out of his way to pick the most, like, the worst people, the most incompetent bunch of idiots that he could find.
To be fair, he did have to choose from the Labour Party.
Well, that's what I mean. You know, it was a rich choice. There was many to choose from, but it seems like he really did excel at picking the most incompetent of them. I mean, to the point that the other day they made Diana Bott look like the clever one in the room.
Wow, Jesus.
Like, I can't remember
That's
what she was
special.
arguing. I think it was to do with the benefits thing. That, like, they actually made Diane look like the fucking clever person in the room. And that's a feat.
That's really sad. That's astoundingly impressive.
Xanothium says, no, let us keep taking advantage of you. Bleach says, fine, I'm using the Cherokee phonetic alphabet. Bertram says, why is Diana Bott not as finance minister? Because she's a Corbynite. That's why. She's part of the old Labour. I say the old Labour.
Bleach, we will... Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Their open Marxism era. She's part of that. So she's not in the good graces right now because she was big under Corbyn.
Now, no, Bleach. We will only accept the Navajo and the Navajo as the code talkers from World War II. Hopefully I got that right. Hopefully I picked the right American tribe there.
If not, somebody will probably cancel you.
Oh no!
So another thing says David Lumpy, Rachel from Accounts.
Al wants a spanking, and not the fun kind. Oh dear.
There's a guy on Twitter who's been using AI to do a whole bunch of like little kind of short videos on mostly on currently the government in the UK. Although he is going to be taking aim at a bunch of other people as time goes on. I think he said, but like it's just the funniest thing. I think the account's called Faraway People.
Yes, that's where most people should be, far away.
Right, because the first video he did was like, it was talking about the faraway people. The faraway people have come over here. And yeah, he's done one on Lemmy, he's done one on Starmer, he's done one on Rachel from Accounts. I think he's done one on Angela Rayner. She's so forgettable. Angela, whatever her face is, the ginger one.
Angela Ranger.
Yeah, she's so forgettable. I'm not sure what she does. I know she's the assistant PM, but I don't know what she actually does.
I don't want to know what any of them actually fucking do.
I wish
Like,
they'd
what
stop.
what politicians actually fucking do?
Well,
We pay
I've
them,
noticed
like,
that Labour are
and
really
what-
fucking secretive about everything they're doing. Like, one of them was being interviewed on GB News, or it was the one I sent you, actually. And he's being interviewed, and they're asking, like, oh, what are you going to do about this? And he's like, oh, the PM will make an announcement in this time. And, well, what are you going to do about this? Oh, there'll be an announcement in this time. It's like, so either you're not planning anything, you're still in the, oh god, what do we do phase, or like you're doing shady shit. Because if you're actually working on something worthwhile, like what's with all the fucking cloak and daggers? Transparency.
Yeah, the transparency is anathema to politicians in
Like when you're
general.
making noises like you think that you should be able to go through my bloody bank account to see where I spend my pennies, my literal pennies. I think we should be able to see in every politician's bank account, scrutinize every pound, every penny, and I should be able to see what it is you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that woman thought, just her face, like she genuinely was like, you bullshitting me, you bullshitting me. I probably can't play the video, but I may very well be able to just show you the woman's face. I don't know if you watched it earlier when I sent it to you, but like she's just looking, she's sat there like, I can smell complete and utter bullshit. Like, I can smell bullshit. I can smell the bullshit from here. Can we?
No. Well, I'm just politics in general. I'm so fucking looking forward to the next month of propaganda, because we've got a federal election coming up.
Like, I
Yay.
can't play it, but like, she asked him a question, and like, just all through the video, she's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, her entire, she's like, what? She's just giving him the doubt face the entire way through. She's like, that's bullshit. What are you talking about? That's complete bullshit.
Good on her.
And that is how you feel every time somebody starts talking for Labour, where they're just like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing, that's what we're doing, blah blah blah, and you just look at them like, what? That wasn't even what I asked. Like, I asked you about this and you just started parroting buzzwords like black hole and inherited this, and it's like, you've been in government nearly a year, mate. You can't keep telling us that you inherited the mess we're in. Like, it's your job to fix it.
Oh, that's my favourite. Oh, we inherited this mess. Well, what the fuck are you doing about it then, you wankers? It's like,
See,
oh,
this
the
was
exact
actually a
same
really
shit
good
over here.
interview on GB News, because like, just watching her, I was actually laughing watching the interview, because her face the entire way through, like, she can smell the bullshit from where she's sitting. As I don't know if you says how to press X using only your face. Yeah, she was definitely pressing X to doubt the whole way through.
Yeah. Oh.
As he's trying to tell her, no, the economy's actually growing. And she's like, what? What do you mean the economy's actually growing?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh yeah, the people that, I can't remember the name of the people who do the forecast. And he's like, yeah, they said it's growing. And she's like, no, I've got them in front of me. They've said the opposite. What are you talking about?
Oh dear. Tristan's popped in and asked, did you say that Australia's also holding a federal election this month? So also, I assume that means Kazakhstan is getting up to, I think, shenanigans, but yes. On, I think it's the 3rd of May? I'm pretty sure that's what I said. 3rd of May, I think it is, which is a sad day we're having a federal election.
Oh, I wonder if your candidates will be allowed to win. I'm just watching over here, like, the EU keeps overturning elections. They're like, nope, can't have that person. No, you don't. And it's like, how can anybody say with a straight face at this point that the EU is a trade body? Like, it's literally sat there, like, being like, nope, this person can't win an election. No, this person can't win an election. It's like, who asked you?
LGM asks, are they also mandatory, Bez? Yes, they are, because all our elections are mandatory, including the fucking council ones. Ugh, free country, my ass. Liberal democracy, yeah, fucking right. You'd have to be a special kind of
are you allowed to go in and spoil the ballot?
Yeah, well, theoretically, yes. Because they can't, in theory, if it's anonymous voting, they can't stop you.
So
But yes, you can spoil the ballot.
Right,
But what's
so
the point in
just,
doing that?
I just wondered, because, like, obviously if all of the options are shit, some people just don't participate, which is kind of what happened over here this time. So I just wondered, like, if they... who won spoiled ballot?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be really nice to have a none of the above option.
I guess that's what spoiling the ballot's about.
Yeah. Sadly, it doesn't send a message. But yeah, I fucking love being forced to go to a place to vote for a bunch of idiots, none of whom I actually want in power.
Yeah.
But on that note, since we do have quite a few of the Sultan's audience in chat, it probably means that Sultan's is either going to be very late or possibly cancelled. We still have to discuss that internally with the panel. But yes, I've picked up work for election day, and that's worth about $500 to $700 depending on overtime for me. So yeah, I'm going to go do that instead.
Unfortunately, I don't think chat pays that well.
That does not pay that well. I appreciate the support from chat, but it's not $500 to $700 for a day's work. You're good.
It only buys Bezek a pizza. What we got in chat?
Yes, Inquisitor X, my Prime Minister did take a tumble recently. Sadly, he survived. I was really disappointed that he didn't break a hip and die.
Oh dear. Why are they all old enough to be breaking hips? Why are well, I guess the UK's not quite as bad, but like, politics, like, why are the parliaments seem to be nursing homes? Rachel from accounts. Speaking of Diana Bot and feet, didn't she wear two left shoes? Well, there was definitely a picture of her that appeared like she had worn two left shoes. I don't know if it was photoshopped. Like, one would hope it was photoshopped, but with Diane, you never know, because I've heard her speak, so it's believable.
Yeah, she's not
Earl
exactly
says,
going out of her
burglar
way.
alarm. He says, don't tempt me. I think that was to your comment about what alphabet you should use.
Yeah.
Hector Rick says, shower complete. I have power washed myself. Good, nice and clean, squeaky clean. Disco, I tagged you in what Zenotheum mentioned earlier on Twitter. Let's have a look. Open this one.
Yeah.
Up over here, over the top of chat.
So chat was asking if Bleach will be around to possibly do a Bleach cast on the day. Don't know. Bleach has been very busy recently, so we haven't had a chance to talk to him.
Oh yeah, this.
About it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute that. Yeah, I seen this. Amidst student demonstrations in Paris sparked by reductions in university funding, protesters burned the American flag.
Why the fuck do they think they're entitled to American money? Get bent.
But why was America funding French universities? I don't understand.
I'm sure the Americans would like an answer to that too.
Like, I mean, one could, whether you agree with it or not, like, you could understand them sending it to, like, build stuff in third world countries and stuff, because then you would say, you know, you are rendering aid, whether you agree with that particular project or not, it is rendering aid. But, like, just paying for French universities, I don't see how that's actually like
there's some value for specific research grants for specific things, especially if that means that the US gets the outcome of the grant of the research, but that doesn't seem to be what a lot of it's for. A lot of it's for dumb shit like
gender studies.
Yes. I think they literally did feminist ballet somewhere in France or something.
Fuck's sake.
But yeah, like some of the things I saw them funding in Australian universities was like medical research. I'm like, you know what? That seems reasonable if they're
that's
getting
fair enough.
a share in it.
If it's like grants or whatever, and being like, we want you to do this specific research, like we'll pay your PhD students to research this, like that totally makes sense. But that wouldn't mean that people were setting the flags on fire because the funding had been cut, because the funding would be for very specific projects.
And what's really annoying is Australia used to be a world leader in science and technology. There was a time in the 70s and 80s when Australia was pumping out massive amounts of research. Like Wi-Fi was invented in Australia. You had to research all the
anti-venoms, didn't you? So that you stopped dying.
But Australia also invented Wi-Fi, so...
Fair enough. What we got in chat? Disco tagged you. Thank you very much. Appreciate show all your work. Propaganda. How to press X using only your face. No. Economy very, very good. I mean, my eyes would tell me otherwise. My bank account would tell me otherwise. My bills would tell me otherwise.
Yep. Tristan also asked, did Australia get hit with tariffs? That's all anyone's talking about during this election. It may well screw us. Conservatives were supposed to sleepwalk to victory this year. I don't actually think Australia got hit with any tariffs, which probably isn't surprising because Australia doesn't fucking export anything. We just give it away for free to the fucking Chinese.
The tariff on China looks chunky.
The tariff on China should be like 300%.
I think it's something, when I looked at it, like 60-something%.
Nice.
I mean, I don't disagree.
But all these idiots screaming about putting tariffs on, it's like, okay, but firstly, these countries all have tariffs on the US. Maybe that's why Australia didn't get one. Maybe my idiot politicians were smart enough to figure out that putting tariffs on the US is a fucking retarded idea, because Australia has no manufacturing. But then again, at least we weren't stupid enough to close our last steel plant.
We were pretty... Well, I said we were pretty stupid. I don't know that I would count myself in the same boat as any of the people who were involved in that decision.
I'm not sure I'd count them as people.
So now our car manufacturers are complaining that, you know, they can't sell cars to the US anymore. And
that's kind of the point of the tariffs.
They were
it's
being
so that
asked
the American car companies can make them.
They were being asked on TV News. They're like, so, like, how's about we stop? But apparently it's like, when they make a vehicle that's not an electric vehicle, they get like a £15,000 like charge from the government or something, so that like to deter them from making non-EVs. It's like, how about we take that off and then maybe they'll be able to make cars again.
No, we can't do something effective and logical.
Obviously.
What else we got? Kristen says that tariffs have turned out great. He was almost completely liquid when the entire stock market went to hell last week. He's got to do some bargain shopping tomorrow. Yeah. Prime says tariffs are eco-friendly. Ordering locally or in countries better than from another continent. Think of the trees. Well, that's legitimately true. That's just straight up true. It's not even a joke. It's just straight up true. If we give a shit about the environment, let's be real. Burning hundreds of tons of fossil fuels to ship plastic garbage from China for 50 cents a fucking pop. It probably isn't the most ideal choice for the fucking environment.
Probably not. You're probably right. Definitely could make an environmental argument for it. Like, it's better for the environment if you shop locally instead of globally.
Yeah. But it's also good for jobs. Like, how with the European car companies crying and bitching, maybe the American car companies will be able to make cars in America, hiring Americans to do it. God forbid we give Americans jobs.
Yeah, this is definitely fingerprints. Skip says Venus. Lord Inquisitor Hector Rex says, what does Bezek like on his pizza?
And Bezek is a fat bastard, so he likes everything. Bezek is a supreme pizza person.
Bezek's like, yes, all of it.
I'm going to blow the tiny American minds. In Australia, our supreme pizzas come with pineapple.
Ooh. Look, if you put anything other than pepperoni on my pizza, we're gonna have a problem.
To be fair, I could totally do a pizza that was like a centimetre of pepperoni and then an inch of cheese.
I don't.
Shit, one of these days I might do that just for shits and giggles.
I don't hate that idea.
How much cheese would you like on your pizza?
Yes. Yeah, people take the piss out of me because I'm like, I'll order the same pizza every time. And I'm like, but I know I like this pizza. So why would I have something else?
That's something I've never understood. Oh, why do you get the same thing every time? Because I fucking like it.
Because I like it. I know that I'm going to enjoy this pizza. Now if I get something that I don't know I'm going to enjoy, then I won't have a pizza. If I don't enjoy it.
Bleach says Chicago style it is. I would like to find a decent Chicago style pizza. That does sound pretty nice.
Stop talking about pizza. Can't afford pizza.
Chad needs to pay up.
Cannot afford pizza.
I was like, wait, did Bezek say he likes pineapple on pizza? His Italian granddad will be turning in his grave. Well, firstly, Italian pizza sucks. And secondly, my granddad was a piece of shit who deserves to rot in hell. So it's all good. Fucking Italian pizza. One of the few times the Americans took something and made it better.
Donathium says Congress in the US is a nursing home. It really is. It actually is.
LGM's upset now. Italian pizza is great, for fuck's sake. Italian pizza and American pizza are barely even the same food item.
Yeah. I have to say, I think the Americans won that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. but calling them the same items kind of is barely even useful. They're so wildly different. LGM's like, sorry, Italian pizza's fast beer. I don't get why some people shouldn't have Italian pizza. Because we like fat, greasy, meaty slop. I don't see what the confusion is.
Oh, hang on.
Xanathium15 donated £10 for the pizza, for the king, for the French universities.
Pizza for the king, for the French universities. Thank you very much. Don't tell King George. He might want like fish pizza.
LGM's really butthurt about the whole Italian pizza thing. You show me a good Italian pizza then.
I just...
Come over here and buy me an Italian pizza that's not a waste of time.
Yeah, maybe you just haven't had like a good one. I don't know, but like I like
that's
American
probably
pizza.
part
I
of
have to say,
Yeah, me too.
I like it to be dripping.
There's probably a good amount of that no good Italian pizza existing in Australia, but it's like, no. It's not what I want.
Hector Rex says,
I want a
"Show me a good
disgusting greasy
Italian."
thing laden in cheese.
Bleach Demon says, have to say it, French pizza is second to American pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really completely different dishes. When I say I want pizza, I don't want something that could be vaguely construed as healthy. I want something that's going to shorten my lifespan, damn it. That's the whole point of going out and of eating out. If I wanted to eat healthy, I'd learn to cook.
What's that about? You can get nice stuff that's healthy. It's just not pizza.
It's also not available at 3 AM on Uber Eats.
That's true. This is true. Rose says, what the fuck is French pizza?
Desperate attempt to be American, apparently. Silverworks says, I like chicken and bacon on my pizza and extra cheese. Ooh, bacon on pizza is nice. Well, that's something in Australia. Our Supremes have bacon. No. But, Disco, you don't understand. Bacon.
Yeah, but not on pizza.
Fair enough. I do enjoy a good pepperoni pizza, though. Sadly, it's next
You may
to impossible to
put
find it.
more pepperoni on. This would be acceptable.
That's what annoys me about most pepperoni pizzas. There is insufficient pepperoni.
Yeah, you can put extra pepperoni on. You can put multiple different cheeses on. I will accept that, but pepperoni.
No autism whatsoever, right? Just go.
None at all. Oh, I fell down. I fell down.
But Prime says I should visit the Heartstop Grill in America. What did they have? 12 patty burger with cheese? I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of American style burgers. But then again, I think that's the one I think I've seen pictures of. It's probably the right style. Because when someone says like an American style cheap burger, it's like that garbage from Carl's Jr. I don't know if you guys have that abomination in the UK.
So
But I don't know what the buns are made out, but it's not bread. It seems to be like solidified dumpster juices.
lovely. Tasty.
It's that stupid waxy textured bread that McDonald's puts some crap on.
I just remember it like when I went to the US, trying to get them to understand the concept of I would like the burger with the cheese and I don't want all the other shit. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I want it plain. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you take the bun and the meat and the cheese, you put it together. You take all the other stuff and you put it in the bin.
Yep.
Like they just weren't understanding this concept of I would like it plain.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Like in Australia, if you go to like a takeout place, and say you want a burger, you'll get a cheeseburger. And some places might decide to add pickles, but if you're like cheeseburger, no pickles, you just get bun, meat, cheese.
I mean, it might be better now, but like when I went there, like trying to get them to understand this concept was like, it was like trying to order a cup of tea. What flavor of tea? Tea flavored tea.
To be fair, if you went to the
Do you want
England
ice? No, I don't want ice. Go put the kettle on.
Yeah, but if you go to England and ask for tea, they'll be like, which of these 37 flavours that are slightly different would you like?
Yeah,
but
not
yes,
really.
iced tea is
I mean,
not
maybe
tea.
if you went into like a really fancy place, you might get like different flavor teas. But generally, no. You go in and ask for a cup of tea, you're gonna get like tea. Like English breakfast tea. That's what you're gonna get. But that doesn't seem to be the case in a lot of places you go. America being one of the worst fucking offenders when I went there. Germany's pretty bad too. You're like, I would like tea, and they're like, they allow all the fruit teas. They do have Earl Grey generally, but you're like, no. You're like, black tea, but put milk in it, and they're like, what? You're like you would if you had a coffee, but you put that in the tea.
Prime asks, how much milk do you want?
How much milk do I want? Just a little bit.
In your tea, yeah.
Just a little.
Just a little dash.
It was that bad in Germany that even the German-speaking friend I had with me could not explain to the waitress that I wanted black tea with milk in it. Like, she just was not getting it. She's like, I don't understand the
Did they
request.
try going, she's English? And then they'll be like, oh.
In the end, I think he had to order a coffee so that they brought the milk with the coffee. So that he can give me the milk. Because she just was not understanding the concept of just bringing the milk.
Dear. Prime's upset that I got his name wrong. And by primed, I mean LGM.
I can see why. He's like, I'm all right.
Try reading chat out of the corner of your eye. It's a challenge.
Gradfrim says, I got some amazing pizza in Montenegro?
Montenegro, yeah.
Kind of Italian style, but with heavy meat toppings. Awesome and very cheap. So you mean with pepperoni?
Mm-hmm. But they just don't make pepperoni pizzas with enough pizza. I'm sorry, but a pepperoni pizza should have none of the base visible, and then it should be doused in cheese.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And
pepperoni. Like just covered.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little pepperoni mountain.
Mm-hmm. Well, yep, you put on the tomato paste, the proper pizza sauce, and then you cover that in a thick layer, in at least 3 layers of pepperoni. Then you cover that in the entire fucking block of cheese.
This is true. You can also put cheese in the crust if you want. This is optional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's like an extra fucking $5.
I know, every time.
That's ridiculous.
It's good.
They carry on like it costs them a fucking fortune.
Earl says, now I want stuffed crust pizza. Yeah, me too.
Me
Go
three.
Stare at just eating a little bit.
One of the pizza places does a shitty pepperoni for like $7, which should be like £3.50. So I'm like, I might pick that up on my way out to work tonight. Just to have some. Unfortunately, none of the pizza places open for like another fucking 6 hours.
What is still dirty?
A bunch of
Rocket
shit inside.
Control pot plant? Or is it the picnics? Maybe? Rocket Control pot plant. Rocket Control pot plant. Is it inside? It's inside. I don't see any plants in here.
Fucking books. How the fuck are they still dirty? This is...
It's dirty. Poor.
These shit can't be gotten unless it's extreme angles, guys. What the fuck?
I know. Oh, there it is. Found the plant pot.
LGM, you do understand that people can have different tastes. Just because you think something's gross doesn't mean anyone else does. I'm sure plenty of shit you eat is gross. Yes.
Stuffed crust is good, not gonna lie, says LGM. It is. Earl, you're going on my heretics list alongside Bezek and Sargon. They are wrong taste. What's that for the pineapple pizza?
Pineapple. God forbid people like other things, eh?
I mean, I have to say I've never tried pineapple on pizza because it doesn't sound like pepperoni.
Well, that's fair. It's definitely not pepperoni.
Monkey says, eating too much cheese knocks me out. Sometimes I just order a massive double stuffed crust mess and lay on the couch for 4 hours thinking worth it.
Yep. That's the appropriate way to enjoy pizza.
I do kind of miss the pizza Fridays we used to do on the Bickering Bunch. But eating pizza once a week, every week, was probably not the wisest of choices.
It's not great, no.
So they're like, I'm gonna get tubby. If I keep eating pizza at this rate, I'm gonna get tubby. Because of course I wasn't, ordering the tiny little Diddy small pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It had to last me through the stream, Food coma, nice.
Yep. That's the best appropriate way to enjoy pizza. You know what's not the appropriate way to enjoy pizza? When some wanker at work decides that you need to all sit together and have pizza and chat and get to know each other. It's like, but I don't want to get to know these people. They're all a bunch of fucking losers.
I mean, my response to that would be, who's paying? If it's on the company, I'm all for it. You book me a seat.
Essentially, my only objection is the expectation to actually talk to the co-workers while the pizza's there.
It's like, I will show up if there's food.
They also don't buy a Bezek amount of pizza.
Yeah, but also free.
Yes. Yeah, but they only order like 2 slices a person. I'm sorry, but for any man, that's not enough. 2
slices per person? I've never been out for pizza, for a group thing.
You go out and more like be stuck in a fucking meeting room in the office. Here's pizza. You get 2 slices each and now talk to each other. It's like, oh god, that wasn't fucking worth my time. And now I've had a taste of pizza, so I have to go out on my fucking lunch break and buy myself another one. So I can actually have enough pizza.
If you're gonna go somewhere at least go to an all-you-can-eat place.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to this Brazilian. I think it was all-you-can-eat Brazilian. I want to say Brazilian. And it was great, because, you go there, and they had, a little buffet thing for, the veggies and stuff. Although, when we first went there, it was during COVID, so they bring in the stuff out. You just ask them, you can have as much as you want. And then they would literally, you had, a thing that you put on the table. It was, red and green, and when you turned it to green, the waiters just kept coming around with, meat and meat and meat and meat. And they're just cutting it off the thing, a table for you, just whoever wants it. And then the next waiter comes with a different cut of meat. The next waiter comes with a different cut of meat until you turn that thing to red. That's my style restaurant. They just keep bringing meat until you're done.
Nice, that's how you do it.
Rocket portholes. Which one is that?
It's this one over here. Somewhere on it.
If we're not careful, we might finish this DLC before the stream's over.
Disco, I think we are finishing the DLC with this level.
Are we? I hope not. Like, the last 2 levels were shit, then.
Mm-hmm. But I'm
Let's
pretty
find
sure
something.
that this is going to be the final one.
Have we got any seasonal or free stuff to do?
I
There might be
think
some
we have
freebies to do.
one. Maybe.
And we'll have to decide in the next game.
Yes.
LGM
Chat was
has
supposed to
retracted
leave
a
us
message.
suggestions in the comments.
They were. I didn't see any suggestions. Not even ones that would make me sad.
Funnily enough, I did get a suggestion from Trim today.
Loving Better Hector says, I do like my pizza with extra garlic. Yeah, I do like it when they supply lots of garlic dip. And then you can have it dripping in grease and garlic
Ooh,
dip.
yeah.
Pizza should drip.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Yes, so Trim suggested a game.
Yeah, those last 2 levels were poo. Oh, was it the,
Yeah,
the
they were.
cleanup thing?
It was. The one I suggested to you like 2 days ago. And yeah, is that the end of the levels?
It does appear to
fucking
be.
fantastic.
Yeah, those last 2 levels were really poo.
Yeah.
Like, it started off strong and then just all the vehicles.
Oh, hello, George.
Ah! Hello, George. She's climbed up on my shoulder. Greg Prince says, when friend went to South Korea and grill restaurant they had for 15 euros eat for 2 hours and how much you want. They are very surprised with a large group of around 2-meter Nordic men arrive for lunch. To be fair, we do have some restaurants like that where it's just like, here's a big buffet, just help yourself. I do like those kinds of restaurants. But they always get you on the drinks. The drinks are like super expensive.
Oh, yeah. So the only content we have left is the Halloween House special.
Then I guess we're gonna be doing that. Tomb Raider we've done, Midgar we've done, SpongeBob we've done, Back to the Future we've done, Warhammer we've done.
Yeah, we've just got the Halloween House and that's it for the game.
I thought there was like, free to play bonus jobs? Or are they just for one person? No, we can do there's bonus jobs.
Oh, what's in the bonus jobs?
The Muckingham Files, did we do those?
Oh, yes. We did some of them. No, yes, you're right, with the bonus jobs. Actually, we've done most of those.
Have we?
We did the submarine and aquarium.
Oh, okay.
We did the modern mansion. There's a fire plane apparently that we haven't done.
There's odd
Which
jobs.
is odd, 'cause I spared
Mars
that
rover,
one.
fountain, miniature golf course, and steam locomotive. I don't think we've done that. Food truck, solar
Yes, we
station,
have.
and satellite dish. I don't think we've done that either. Excavator, paintball arena, and Spanish Villa. No, we haven't done those. We've done 3 and 4.
No, we did
so
2
there's a few
and 2 and
things.
3, 3 and 4. Right. Okay, good. There are a few more.
Do you want me to host or do you want to host?
I can host. Which one do we feel like? Do we want to do the Halloween one?
I bet the
the
Spanish Villa is
odd
probably
jobs
quite
or-
good.
Yes.
Paintball arena,
The problem
Spanish
is that's
Villa.
one of the ones we have played.
Have we? I don't think we have.
Oh, we definitely have. I have the. That's the one that includes like the paintball arena and the excavator. And we did those ages ago.
Okay. I don't mind then.
We did. Have we done the Mars rover?
No, I
we've
don't
done
think
Mars
so.
rover.
We definitely did
Let's
the
do them.
aquarium. The aquarium was nice. We liked the aquarium.
Yeah, the aquarium was good. Alright. Yeah, we'll do the mask
He's
over.
just talking to George, but George, you aren't an acupuncturist. He could be. We're 30% of the way to his documentary, so maybe he'll learn in his documentary.
Yep. Cool. So this is not going to take long. And then we'll be into one of the other ones.
Yeah, you'll have to invite me. Hopefully, you'll let me join. Otherwise,
I am attempting to. Otherwise, yeah. Invite Disco.
Nope.
Oh, for the love
I
of...
don't know what's wrong with it. There's no button.
That's really helpful. Really helpful.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. So it's the first one. And we're doing Mars
Yes.
Rover.
Yep.
Start job. Starting this mode will end the current multiplayer session. That's lovely. We'll just have to re-invite him. Monkey says, gotta go show my puppy to people. Yeah, me. You gotta bring your puppy. Oh, I suppose you can't bring your puppy here. I might have to descend on you at some point and be like, show me the puppy! Let's see you later, monkey. Also bring me the puppy. Show me the puppy. Pictures! I haven't seen any pictures. LGN says, well, the claws will do the job. Yeah, he does sometimes poke me with his claws. That's odd. Right, invited to Bezek. Invited to Bezek. Confirm.
Excellent. Waiting.
Invite friend. Bezek.
Yay, Disco has invited me to play Power Wash Simulator.
I don't know why Will won't give me the button. I'm fairly sure Jack can
It's
see that
really
not
weird.
giving me the button. Bezek's in. George, I don't know where I'm supposed to
That's
put my
Kaz
keyboard.
right.
Maybe I'm actually gonna have to recline the chair just so that there is space for all of us on me, you, and the keyboard. I'm gonna have to go into the reclined position. There we go. Let's move my tax bill out of the way.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't want the tax bill to get like.
Acid.
Yeah. I mean, I would like it to get shredded, but that's a different matter.
There's a drone.
This is
How's the drone? How's the drone?
How long is it?
No, but also Disco. There's something odd about these marks on the floor.
Have you got your shoes off?
No, I think we're wearing our boots. Wonder what's going on here. It's the bloody gnomes.
Mystery hatch.
Yep, mystery hatch, huh?
Does it open if I clean it?
That would be nice. Do we have to move the gnome? Hasn't opened yet.
Well,
It's even a green gnome. It's a Martian gnome. I think it's actually LGM.
It could be.
It's a very little green Martian. No, I'm gonna bring LGM with us.
George, you're very in the way. Very, very in the way. Right. Well, while we're cleaning this pathetically small map, I'm going to bring up the other article we were going to talk about today, which
Oh, excellent.
which is the one that you sent me. Ubisoft frantically patches boobs back into Far Cry 4 after accidentally patching them out.
Yes, accidentally.
How do you accidentally patch boobs out of... I mean, Far Cry 4 is not a new game.
No. Their excuse is that one of the foreign versions they had to patch the boobs out of because reasons. They're claiming that the Japanese version is different, which is interesting because Japan doesn't require censoring boobs.
No, I can't imagine that Japan does require that. I mean, I'm not expert in Japan, but, like... I mean, I don't think they're prudes.
You'd be surprised, but their prudishness doesn't extend to boobs. It extends to other bits.
Fair enough. Like I
This
said,
guy,
no extra.
the Martian clamped the tires.
Oh,
Where the rover's illegally parked, so they put a clamp on the wheel.
Oh, that explains the footprints.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Illegally, we're hosing an illegally parked rover.
George, I've had to rearrange my entire setup now, just for you.
Jem's like, I did warn Nasser.
You can send the fine to NASA because I am paying it.
But it's very odd that we're here cleaning it if it's already been done for illegal parking.
Right, so let's have a look. So what? So apparently the patch was on April 3rd. It's a shame it wasn't on April 1st, otherwise they could have played
Like,
off as an April Fool's joke.
Fools.
Recent updates. Hey, turns out I was right. In an update from Ubisoft community dev on Reddit, the company clarified that the apparent censorship from the April 3rd patch occurred because there was a mistake during a recent update. Content meant specifically for the Japanese version of the game was mistakenly uploaded to the worldwide version on Steam. This resulted in an unintended
So their
changes, including
their
censored models
excuse
and
is
assets.
their excuse is, oh, we didn't censor it. We're just a bunch of retards.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse.
Yeah, fucking Ubisoft. Now, see, Ubisoft's problem is that they've been caught being lying psychopaths before, so no one believes them.
No, honestly, we're just retarded. We're just really stupid.
Yeah, that's certainly an argument, isn't it?
There's still dirty tires somewhere.
We're not censorious, we're just stupid.
I mean, they probably are censorious too. But in this occasion, they're apparently just stupid.
Yep, so they're censorious and stupid, which, to be fair, we knew. Except when they want to show gay, black, African sex in Japan in the medieval period. Oh dear.
Oh, we're done. We're done! Right, let's...
Yep, we're done.
That was a bit poor. I expected that.
Before we move on, let's see if anything's happened to the hatch now that the level's completed. Nope, disappointing. Very disappointing. Why no hatch open?
Do you want to do the gnome fountain, the mini golf course, or the train?
The gnome fountain. We'll do the gnome fountain. That sounds fun. Is it going to kick me out again?
Starting this job will reset any progress on other bonus jobs. Okay, whatever. Don't care. Now, I did see a post the other day, and I probably should have saved it. But what is this? I got a different power washer on this level.
Yes.
I probably should have saved the link, but I didn't. Apparently, Disney have cancelled or delayed the live-action Rapunzel.
Gee, I wonder if it's because Snow White is the biggest failure of the year.
Imagine that you failed so hard at playing Snow White that you got another movie cancelled.
Well,
Oscar, if you stand on the power button, I'm gonna kick your butt.
That would be very awkward.
Chat would be like, where your disco go? Gresham says, that's why you have cab? What? 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 Gresham says that's why you have cab.
I assume that's some kind of version control or something. Some kind of process to make sure people don't do stupid things like push updates to the wrong fucking version.
I mean, why not?
But change advisory board. There you go. To be fair, they probably would have had one if the game was within a year or two of release. But it's like, what, 10-year-old game? But then again, yeah, they did fuck up royally.
Very royally.
And unfortunately, they burnt all their goodwill, so it's like, accidentally, yes, sure.
Yeah, we might believe you if you weren't doing all this other stupid stuff.
We'd believe that if you weren't Ubisoft. That's what happens when a company burns all their goodwill.
Also, why on earth were they censoring it now? If it's been out that long, like surely Japan would have already had their grumbles about it.
Well, the only thing I can imagine is that they made some change to their rating system that's retroactive.
Maybe
But-
or maybe like what happened with RimWorld in Australia.
Banned, mentions drugs.
I love how
Like-
the drugs was the thing they had the they had the problem with. It's like, do you know, like drugs is probably the nicest thing you can do in RimWorld.
I'm sorry, was the slavery not also a problem?
I can enslave people. I can harvest them for fucking organs. I can eat them. Like, but no. The problem is that they can
cannibalism,
grow a bit of
fine.
smoke grass.
Well, remember, this is Australia, where the politicians banned women with A cups or less from appearing in porn because it made the politicians think of kids.
Sure.
It's
sure.
also the country that
Free
has
the
just
micro
recently
milkies.
arrested a woman for writing a book that Nabokov would have been proud of. Not even drawing pictures like Japan would do, but writing a fictional book about, shall we say, a gentleman that waited 18 years. And that was the stupidest part of the whole thing. The guy waited until they were 18, which is 2 years above the age of consent in Australia. But oh no, because this woman wrote a book, apparently she's been arrested for the big one.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile,
I mean,
genderqueer
our-
is still perfectly fine in school libraries.
Well, you know, and cuties, I bet, is just fine.
Yep.
No problem with cuties. Whatever. I mean, our politicians are currently looking to legislate off the back of a fictional TV show that they liked.
Yep. So fucking stupid.
It's a very important documentary. No, it's not an important documentary because it's a fucking fictional TV show, you pillock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's phenomenally fucking stupid. Oh, it's a big problem. Yes, that's why it's a fictional show. Also, please show us a picture of the person it's loosely based on.
Well, that's the thing. Like, in one breath, somebody's like, oh, it was based on a couple of different incidences. Spoiler alert, it's the one you're thinking of. And then in a different interview, they were like, no, we made the whole thing up, wasn't based on anybody. And it's like, okay, so either way, like, why are we legislating off the back of it?
Yep. Because
We need to show
Andrew
it in
Tate's
all the
bad.
schools. I mean, I really, really do not like Andrew Tate. I don't think I've ever, like, that's ever been a secret. Like, I don't like him. I think he's a degenerate manhole.
Yeah.
At best. But I mean, who is accusing Andrew Tate of being a fucking incel? I mean, he's many a thing. He's many a thing. Incel is not one of them.
Exactly. It's so dumb. But, oh, Andrew Tate's leading boys astray. Well, yes, because the only other men they see are either literal cucks or or gay pedophiles.
Well, the thing is, like, you cancelled all the fucking male role models that would have actually been decent fucking role models. Like, you get somebody like Jordan Peterson comes along, who actually is going to tell them to buck up their ideas and clean their room and go out there and actually, you know, make their lives better. And oh no, we can't have that. We got to cancel him. Okay, well now you're left with the turds that won't flush, which is Andrew Tate.
I'm rapidly getting convinced that Andrew Tate's just a feminist psyop. Because he is the feminist perfect man.
But who's accusing him of being a bloody incel? Like, or of inspiring incel culture? Like, no, he's telling them to get her freaking massive big groups of women, fucking pimp them out. He's not fucking promoting incel culture.
Yeah, he's a colossal piece of shit and he's promoting a lot of disgusting things, but he's hardly promoting that.
Yeah, he's not in any way, shape or form an incel.
No. Even if he does have to take advantage of barely legal women in a third world European shithole.
It's like, cannibalism? No problem. Yeah, the Australian government, no problem with cannibalism. Just don't let them grow the smoke weed.
Yep. My government's just so cut. Like, they can literally, essentially ban things from being distributed. But it's not banning by the definition they give, but it's banning. They refuse to issue it a classification, so it can't be sold. It's like, no, how about you just rate it for 18 plus only, and you stop making decisions for fucking grown adults.
Yeah.
But no, the perfect nanny state must control every aspect of your life.
Yeah, sounds about right. Gretchen says, didn't the UK also fund that TV show, making it a pure gaslighting operation? I'm not sure. I think I saw some rumors.
What was it, like, the UK government or the US government?
It had got some kind of like funding, but I don't know if that's true or what kind of funding. But it would not surprise me if they were given money towards making it, and then the government was like, "Oh, this is perfect for legislating. We don't even have to wait for a tragedy this time."
Yep. It's just pure man-hating propaganda. It's just sick. It's truly just sick. And then they turn around and go, oh, locker room talk can lead to genocide. That was one of the things we got to cover on Sultans. One of the charities involved in concern for the government and the TV show says that locker room behaviour can lead to genocide. I'm like, no. Frigging making up crap like adolescents and then punishing boys for being boys because of this fictional crap. That's what's going to piss them off and lead them to get angry.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, okay, I mean, I would love to see your sources for that, you know, whole locker room talk will lead to genocide, because so far I'm not seeing all that much genocide, but I mean, I'm assuming the most boys locker room talk. So how are we correlating this? Because the data is not really lining up with it.
Yeah, they also included murder, homicide, and femicide as possible consequences of locker room talk.
Right.
Because they're idiots. Because they had nothing else. They had to make it look bad. So they had to describe murder 3 different ways. But somehow, women have gone together and decided that killing women is worse than killing men. Like, yeah, thanks, psychos. We can't just have killing is bad. And it's like, no, killing women is worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get the logic in that. Like, if you kill someone, you're still like they're still gone, whether they're male or female. Like, they're still not coming back.
Oh, but the men deserve it because original sin. Feminists.
I mean, I suppose maybe you could. I don't know. I mean, that would. I guess it would come into motive, like murder 1, murder 2, and whatnot, rather than anything else. So, but I was gonna say, like, maybe if there's some kind of gang wars or like men who are fighting versus a woman who had literally nothing to do with it, just getting set upon. I guess you could make a distinction there.
Yeah, and that's murder 1 essentially versus
so that's already a distinction. So you can't even really say that would even be different. I don't know why you've got to say it's worse.
Yeah. Because they think women are more important than men. That's all it is. They do not care about men.
I mean, I would say in some cases the way that women are murdered. Like, a lot of times it's following being raped or like fucking kidnapped or whatnot. And in that case, you know, you want to maybe tack some charges on for that, because not only have you ended their life, but you've made the last however many minutes or hours of it like nightmarish.
Well, funnily enough.
But again, that's probably already being done, so you don't need to legislate differently.
Despite what the UK government would tell you, rape and torture are both illegal.
I know. I mean, you say that, but like, I see an awful lot of rapists just being let out of prison.
Oh, but they're brown people, so they're special and can't be held responsible for their actions.
It wasn't rape; it was a sexual emergency.
Exactly.
My bad. Sometimes I confuse the two.
Well, according to Keir Starmer, it was the girl's fault because she wasn't wearing a burqa around a Muslim man, therefore she provoked him. But that's basically the fucking government argument, isn't it?
Just so many times now I see, allowed to walk free, out on probation, like suspended sentence, and it's like, oh, what did they do? Non-Surrey. Great.
Oh, well, I don't know if you saw this one, but your genius government arrested 2 men for plotting to form a terror cell, and then gave them bail.
I vaguely saw that, yes. It was just like, not surprised. I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't be the government, but this is just what we seem to have with our court system right now. Like, our court system is deeply unwell.
It is. But it's so stupid. Yes. We noticed you were trying to form a terror cell, so if you promise to be really good boys, you can go home. Oh yeah, because they won't turn around and just do whatever they were planning to do. And then they wonder why the Muslim world looks upon the UK as weak.
I think the whole world's looking upon the UK as weak.
Yep. Was it really worth all this to not speak German, Disco?
I mean, we may very well be speaking Arabic in years. I have more of a chance of learning German than Arabic.
Yeah.
I can order tea in German.
And if you complain about it, that's illegal.
Also, I don't think pepperoni is halal, so I have to object on those grounds.
Well, I like bacon and dogs, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to object violently on a
Blah, 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 blah,
civilization.
blah. Why are we eating dogs?
Because Korean. The dogs also like bacon, Disco.
Bezek's one of those people. What's grabbed from saying? Grabbed from that bird. Most talk leads to... Can't say that. No, you can't say that. You can't finish that sentence. It leads to peace and, peace.
Pieces.
Peace.
What? Yes.
Oh, speaking of such things, my
Oh, no.
mum noticed the other day. So I don't watch the BBC, but my mum still does because she's old and
She's a boomer, yeah.
she's a boomer. And so I was talking to her the other day. She was like, I was watching the BBC, and then suddenly on camera they were in a mosque and they were praying. Why was that on the BBC? Why was I having to watch that on the BBC? The BBC had streamed Eid live because obviously everybody's got to participate and watch. I don't know.
The new state religion.
She did make me laugh though because she was like, "But it's all men in there. Where are all the women?" And I'm like, "Probably in the back door. I don't think the women are allowed in the same part as the men."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Oh, I didn't want it on. I don't want to watch it." And I was like, "Well, welcome to the BBC. Why do you think I refuse to pay them? I don't want to watch their crap."
You don't want to watch propaganda? Yeah, shocking.
I don't know who thought that was an idea of, oh, let's just do that live on TV. It's like, well, maybe we're not interested. Like, all the people who would be interested are probably in their local mosque doing it.
But they've got to convert the rest of the country by force if necessary. And remember, if you complain about it, that's the paddling.
Now, apparently, and I can't remember where I was watching this, but I did see the article. I did briefly see the article when it first came out. It didn't really clock with me, but then I seen somebody talking about it. I was like, oh shit! Like they, I think it might have been the BBC. It was definitely one of the kind of mainstream media outlets had printed an article, and they're like, Eid is particularly difficult for Muslim reverts, not converts, reverts, like people who had converted to Islam. But in Islam, apparently they say revert because they think this is you coming back to the default position, and they had used that language, and then they went back later on and they changed it for clarity.
Uh-huh. Well, it's good. It was nice of the royal family to announce that they had, in fact, abdicated in favour of the caliphate. That was helpful.
George, Oscar, don't stand on top of the PC, mate. You might turn it off on accident.
Unlike George, who'd do it on purpose.
Well, yeah, George does do it on purpose. Like, there's no problem about it. George does do it on purpose.
Little bastard.
He's not so bad with this case, but my old case, he could actually press the button, then he would stand there and he'd be like, and book. And everything would go off.
Oh, what a little shit.
Like, he did it all the time when I was streaming with Kyle with Gibbs. And it'd just be like, oh, I'd just disappear, and they're like, oh, Disco's gone. I'm guessing the cat got to the thing. Lost it. I lost it.
Naughty kitty.
What else have I seen this week that is of interest? There has to have been other interesting things in the news.
There's been a lot of interesting things, but most of them aren't suited for YouTube.
I know that's true. Snow White didn't do very well in the box office.
No, flopped abysmally.
Abysmally, like it's a major loss.
Yeah, and serves the Disney right.
They were told, like, to be fair to Rachel Zegler, like, she wasn't lying.
No, she's just an insufferable cow.
Yeah, she wasn't lying about how bad the movie was. She did warn us all.
Yep. Can't imagine why no one went to see it.
I think even the people who did go to see it just went so that they could review it and tell everyone else how bad it was.
Pretty much. That's. One of the reviewers I watched took a video, and there were like 3 other people in the entire cinema on opening day.
Yeah. Well, the first weekend it did abysmally. The second weekend it did even worse.
Wow.
Like, it's a monumental loss. It's not even gonna make back. It's like a budget, never mind the advertising and everything else. Like it's just a huge hit. As I say, I heard rumors they cancelled the live action Rapunzel, probably off to rethink it. Like maybe we want to rethink what we're gonna do with Rapunzel. So don't take that script, put it in the bin, folks.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the worst idea for them.
Like, I don't know how many times they have to get punished for making woke garbage before they understand that the public do not want the woke garbage.
Yeah, well, eventually they're going to run out of money for pushing propaganda, hopefully. And they might actually have to make something good.
Like, because they've sunk so much stuff. They've just destroyed so many things, but like Snow White was their fucking flagship movie. It was what they built
it was their
Disney
first
on.
animated movie. Yep.
Like, how you fuck up Snow White?
Well, how do you fuck up a Minecraft movie?
All they needed to do was be mostly true to the original. Like, they could have.
Yeah.
They could have tweaked a couple bits here and there that maybe didn't work very well with like real actors, but really it should just be a kind of copy of the original movie, just done with actors. There's no need to change the story, and so drastically as well.
Yeah.
It's like, that isn't even Snow White. Like, that, it's not even Snow White. It's not the same story.
No, it's Mud Brown. And the 7 CGI
No, but like the story wasn't even the same story. There was no, it was just like communism, the movie.
Oh yeah, she's the first one of them all because she's just. It's like, okay, so please explain how the evil queen was the fairest until 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, if that's the case, why does the evil queen care? She knows that she's not fair. Like, she just wants all the stuff for herself because she's evil. Like, she doesn't want to. Oh, the mirror told me I'm not kind, but apparently I thought I was kind up until 5 minutes ago. No, obviously, like, you just didn't even think through that basic part of your fucking new story as to why the mirror would be telling her she's the fairest of them all. Why she would care.
Yep.
She's like, yep, it's Snow White. Well, yeah, she is a little commie prick, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly how it'd go too. Yeah, speaking of movies that aren't as good as they could be, the Minecraft movie knocks Snow White out of the water by like an order of magnitude.
I haven't
Yeah,
really
but
been
apparently
following
it's
the
still
Minecraft movie.
apparently it's a really crap movie. Firstly, Jack Black.
Yeah, is he still? I mean, he disgraced himself a couple months ago. So
When does he not?
To be fair, I really enjoyed his singing in the Mario movie. The Peaches song. I have to say, I really enjoyed the Peaches song.
Yeah, but no, they got him to play Steve. I'm not sure how familiar you are with like the Minecraft world, but
I am, but as far as I remember, Steve didn't have any lines. Steve would occasionally go, "Arr!" And then that was about it.
yeah, well, he got the Jack Black treatment. And then apparently the rest of the movie was just mediocre garbage anyway. But like, how do you screw up a Minecraft movie?
Well, I don't.
It's basically free money.
Well, you say that, but at the same time, like, the whole point of Minecraft kind of was that it wasn't really a story. It's not a story to be told, because you made your own story. I mean, technically, eventually they did kind of bring in the Ender Dragon, and, like, you kind of had... Well, not even really a story. There must have been a kind of story as to the Ender Dragon being the end, but, like... There's no narrative in the game. So what story are you telling? What's one that you made up? Well, I'm not interested.
Yeah. See, if I was a Hollywood money person, and someone turned around to me and said, we have gotten the Minecraft IP, we need you to make a movie. The first thing I would have done is turned around and said, send an email to Captain Sparkles and buy the rights to Fallen Kingdom. 4 fucking music videos with like 1 billion views that tell a story. It's like, no, call Captain Sparkles and buy the rights. Boom, there's an audience.
I mean, I get why they would want to do Minecraft, because, well,
it's only the biggest selling game ever.
Yeah, everybody loves the game. Like, it's done really, really well. Kids fucking adore it. But, like, there really isn't a story. So what story are you trying to tell?
Yeah, it's just some bullshit set in the Minecraft universe. It's like, okay, cool.
But then you don't really need Minecraft Steve, do you?
No. Yeah, and the aesthetic just looks awful anyway.
Yeah, because it's blocks. I mean, let's be fair. Not really an artist. Like, his art skills leave some to be desired. It wasn't the prettiest game. You know, whenever I played it, I really did have to crack out the texture packs and mod those in before I could really stomach it, because it's not a pretty game.
No. Tristan points out that Lego didn't have a story until they made the Lego movie. Well, that is true, but that just meant that they had to come with a good story, which I think they did. I think they came with a good story for the Lego movie. The problem with the Minecraft movie is apparently they didn't actually come up with a story. But yeah, it's not an IP that comes with a story, I think is the point. It's not like the abysmal Borderlands movie, which in theory comes with a story. Some world building.
Yeah. Or like the Warcraft movie. Like, you know, there's plenty of lore there to pull from.
Yep. Or like how Rings of Power somehow had access to tens of thousands and thousands of pages of content and somehow delivered absolute shite.
Yeah.
Like putting Galadriel's husband on a bus.
Mama. I think she's getting tired too.
Okay. I'm still a power rush. Hello, bear. Am I gonna have to put Bezek down on for a second? Let's put Bezek down.
Baba.
I'll get you a ball as well, darling.
Right, let me put Bezek cam on for a moment. Bezek cam. There we go. Bezek cam is very handy. Let's turn it off. There we go. Chat will have to watch Bezek clean it for a second. Like Greg says, should have had a Technoblade tribute song in it. Some of them are really good. I enjoy them. I did not watch him or played Minecraft. Well, I did play Minecraft, and it doesn't have a story.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, I guess maybe go with some of the the theory crafting channels where they actually try and piece together the story from like things that's in the game. Because then at least maybe, you know, there's something to be taken rather than just random adventure.
Yeah.
Hi, Boo. Oh, you've got a ball. That's a blue ball.
Yeah.
That one's
Tristan
blue.
says they wasted their window with that Warcraft movie. Instead of trying to tell the story of Warcraft, they should have told a smaller scale story about 5 random adventures in Westfall. Well, that probably would have worked, because essentially that's what the Dungeons and Dragons movie did, I think. I didn't go to see it because I took one look at the cast and went, no. But apparently, for a modern movie, it's pretty good. And that's essentially what it is. It's just following a bunch of adventures around in the world setting.
You know what the ball is? You just throw it on the floor.
Chat is screaming baby noises.
She talks Simish now.
But it's almost horrifying that she's actually starting to use actual words.
Oh, she uses
It
so
feels like
many
she was-
actual words. Like, granted, they're in amongst Simish, but she does use actual words now, like loads of words.
Yeah.
The other day, she was helping me cut potatoes for dinner.
Yeah.
I had like a little toddler knife set so that she could she can use little plastic knives to help cut. And she's helping me cut the potatoes. And then I picked the potatoes up and I was like, alright, you say bye-bye to the potatoes now. And she went, bye-bye, potatoes.
Yeah.
Clear as anything. Bye-bye, potatoes.
Prime's saying that she'll be going to school in a burqa. Why do you think she's not going to school, Prime? She's getting homeschooled.
She is getting homeschooled.
Which is probably the only reasonable option.
I mean, to be fair, I think that the schools in Scotland are not quite so bad, although having looked through some of the learning outcomes, there is certainly some wokery in there. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the idea of them having to sit strapped to a desk for like 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not fun. I cannot imagine how miserable it must be going to school these days. It was garbage enough when we went.
Cute. I think maybe as well because I'm in like a lot of the homeschooling groups and whatnot, I keep getting articles recommended to me about school stuff, and like some of the stuff just makes me so angry. Where you like, oh, kids sat and pissed themselves because they weren't allowed a toilet break.
Oh, lovely.
It's just like,
Well, I really enjoyed the ones that couldn't speak when they arrived in school because of the big C.
well, we're talking like not kids who are not potty trained, like just kids who they're unable to go during lunchtime because the queue was too long or whatever, and so they asked to go to the bathroom, and because they're not allowed out of class for like a few hours at a time, like they're just left go in their pants.
Yeah. Well, there was also the fact that a bunch of kids were showing up to schools not potty trained because 5 years of lunacy.
I mean, you also have to bear in mind, like, one, yes, that's definitely a part of it, but as well, you're seeing more and more parents being pushed back into work and kids being raised in nurseries who are not
This is
going to do
true,
the potty
but-
training for you. And so,
When schools
when are they supposed to
reopened,
begin
it was
potty
actually a massive immediate notice. Like, there was all the forced work from home. So theoretically, there should have been more time to spend with the kid. Theoretically, there should have been more time to spend to potty train the kid. But, like, immediately after after the schools went back, the teachers were noticing, hold on a second, these grade 1s aren't potty trained. Like, it was an immediate, noticeable jump.
That's interesting. Because I know...
It's horrific,
not,
but yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how many years ago, but it wasn't that... It was fairly recent. They actually reduced the age at which they want the primary caregiver of a child to be doing more hours at work. Because, well, we provide money for daycare, so, like, you could just go and do more hours now. And
Well,
so it's come
yeah,
down
they've got
from
that
5
here.
till 3, which means in that age between 3 and 5, kids are not getting to spend the time with the parents. And I wonder if that's
Yeah.
having an impact on things like the potty training and stuff. Because instead of one-on-one with a parent who could give them their full attention, it's now, group on
Yeah.
a couple of caregivers who are probably not going to do the potty training.
No. Who probably couldn't find the time even if they wanted to.
But again, it's minimalizing child rearing. Gotta get the parents back into the workforce as soon as possible. Let's just keep lowering that age. And I know, Americans are going to be like, hi, 6 weeks over here. And it's like, yeah, I get that. And that's absolutely abysmal. But that doesn't mean that we should head anywhere near in that direction. Like,
No. Here in Australia, the government subsidises childcare to the extent of 100 hours a fortnight at approximately $10 an hour. So the government pays $1,000 a fortnight so people can send one kid to daycare so that the parent can work. It's like, and what ungodly amount of money do they need to earn to be paying more than $1,000 in tax a fortnight?
exactly. So where's the logic? Why not just say, okay, well, for the, till the kid's school age, we will subsidize that primary caregiver to stay at home. Like, they can do they can do a few hours if they want to, like, optional choice, feminist, all that stuff. Like, they want to do a few hours, they can, but, like, we will subsidize them to stay at home because it is cheaper than paying for the damn daycare so that they can go to work and pay a fraction of that back in tax and then pay the rest of it to the daycare to make up the fees that what they're paying doesn't cover. Like, it's like it's deliberate. It's like they just want to separate the families.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
it doesn't make economic sense for them to do it that way.
No, it doesn't, because it would literally be cheaper to pay the primary caregiver to stay home, no questions asked, than to pay for the kids' childcare. $1,000 a fortnight that the government is paying.
Yeah.
Well, the taxpayers paying.
I mean, the thing is very, very similar over here. There is a cap on it, and the cap is not enough to cover the childcare. And so that second person's income is pretty much going to pay off that childcare.
Oh,
But
yeah.
on top of that, it's put so much pressure on the childcare, on the nurseries and whatnot, that they can't cope. So they're having to bring in, like, more caregivers. Well, that's only going to make the cost of the nursery go up because the nursery's now got to pay for more caregivers.
Yeah. Yeah, the cap in Australia works out to the roughly $10 an hour that I was talking about, because $1,000 is a nice round number for the sake of argument. But yeah, what ungodly amount of money do you need to earn to pay $52,000 in tax a year? Or 26 or whatever it is.
Or
$26,000 a year.
You could
in
take
tax.
half of that and just give it to the primary caregiver and be like, okay, right. Especially if there's two normally working adults in that household, you could give them half of that, and it might be not, the lavish of lifestyles, but you could probably live off it.
But it's
Save
ridiculous.
half
It's
the
something
money.
in like.
And the kids get raised by a parent.
Yep. They have to be earning somewhere in the six-figure range, like maybe 150,000 plus, or what? I'm not sure off the numbers off the top of my head, but it's almost certainly over 100,000 a year that they need to be earning to just for the taxpayer to break even on the bloody childcare. So it's like, what's the fucking point? No, we'll just give them $1,000 a fortnight and tell them to stay the fuck home. It's cheaper.
It's so silly. It's so silly. Which is why I'm saying it's either incredibly incompetent or it's malicious. Like, it's like, no, well, it's worth the price to kind of have the kids away from the parents.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's some weird corporate thing where somehow the companies... It probably is. The companies probably save money by paying people a pittance because the workforce essentially got doubled.
It's more than doubled when counting the immigration as well.
83% of the population growth in Australia in 2023 was net of foreign migration.
But you're...
Oh dear God!
But you are right though. If we took out parents with very young children from the workforce and say, right, you can stay at home, just raise this child, and you can come back into the workforce afterwards. Like, wages would have to go up because there'd be less people vying for the same jobs. Like, labor would actually be what have you done? What have you actually done?
What's broken?
What did you do? Did you have to? There we go. Let's see. Oh, hello, Donald. Donald showed up. Donald says, in Canada for university I work at with another university near by my workplace. The university had mothers be paid part of the year paid to take care of a newborn for a year. But yeah, I think
that sounds like parental leave.
that sounds like
which
maternity leave.
Yeah, maternity leave.
But
Well,
beyond
that sounds like a
you can get
yeah.
you can basically be off work here until they're 3, and the government won't harass you about getting back into work. But it used to be 5, and they've taken that
Which
down
makes
now
sense.
to 3.
At 5, they can go to school, and then the school stops them from dying for 8 hours. And then if you have childcare, it's like an hour before school, an hour after school, which is a lot cheaper than 10 to 12 hours a day.
So in order to facilitate that, they were like, well, we will give I can't remember how much it is, but it's so much money towards childcare per month. Yeah, exactly. But even then, they're like, oh, it can't be like grandparents or something. No, it's going to be like a special, like, official.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Can't even be like, okay, we'll give that £1,000 a month to grandma then. Like, no.
Yep. Yeah, but just purely from a taxpayer perspective.
Yeah, you can drive taking it back.
Because Donald says that when it comes to 26k in taxes in Canada, you need to make over
go pay a little
150k
bit.
for the tax bracket you fall into.
Bye-bye, boo. Bye-bye.
trying to bring her in, but she's getting a bit
That's
restless.
okay. I think she's getting a little bit sleepy. She might cuddle with you.
Mm.
Do you want to have a cuddle?
Yeah, purely from a taxpayer perspective, if the mother earns less than, say, the $150,000 referencing, if the mother earns less than $150,000, it's a net loss for the taxpayer
Well, yeah,
to
that's
send
the
that
point.
woman to work.
That's the point.
It's so phenomenally stupid. Like, never mind how good it is for the kid to have the mother around. Just for the taxpayer, it is more beneficial to keep the woman at home until she earns $150,000 a year.
In terms, or until the kid is old enough to go to school.
Yeah.
And
at which
not
point
be
you
in the
don't
home
need to
all
pay for 10 hours. Yeah, you don't need to pay for 10 hours of care a day because that's how the 100 hours a fortnight in Australia works out. It works out to 10 hours a day. For 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, which kind of makes sense if you're. But once they hit school age, well, they really only need 2 hours a day, which is a lot cheaper for everyone. And I don't.
Yeah.
And probably doesn't require them to earn $150,000 a year to pay enough tax for it to be worth it for the taxpayer.
Like, it just doesn't make economical sense. You know, and I guess
No.
they'll be like, oh, well, we need people in the workforce because, like, to keep the economy running. And it's like, have you seen how many, like, unemployed people there are that just can't find a job? We haven't got enough jobs
Yep.
for all our unemployed people. Never mind that you want to force people who are unwell back into work too, and apparently magically find jobs for those, and that companies have literally stopped hiring because we just had a national insurance hike. Like, do we really need to be forcing the primary caregivers of young children back into the workforce? I'm not sure that we do. At a loss to the taxpayer, because that childcare ain't free.
Yeah,
You can
it's
use the
gotta be
words like
about-
free, but it's not free, Mr. Government. Is
it's-
it?
Yeah. It's got to be a way of funneling the money back into corporations' hands. Now that's what it's got to be about. Because the money all goes into the childcare, well, then it goes into the pockets of the person who owns the childcare centre, who also happens to own the factory that the mother's working at. That's probably what it is.
Could
It's
very well be.
and then you also consider that they only have to pay the mother half as much what they would have to pay, say, a non-primary caregiver. Because, oh hey, you need a job? Cool. Here's, I don't know how it works out, what, £30,000 a year? Meanwhile, if we say knocked every primary caregiver out of the workforce, maybe the companies would have to pay £40,000 a year. And that would be nice.
No, they would have to be competitive because there might not. Well, I mean, might not quite be enough workers to go around, so you'd have to be competitive. Or, you know, people would have the option to kind of shop around for their employment rather than just take whoever will have them.
Yeah. LGM says, but Bezek, my career boss bitch. Yeah, yep, thank you.
I mean, I think
basically the argument.
that's not necessarily the average woman's opinion on things. That is very much a loud internet opinion. I've worked with girls who have been forced back to work after they've had their kids, and I've watched them run into the bathroom to cry every 5 minutes because the last place they want to be is not with a kid.
Yeah.
And I know I'm incredibly fortunate that I managed to kind of set myself up sole trader before I had the little one, so that I don't have to leave her. You know, I can kind of dig my heels in and be like, well, you know, if you want to assist with marketing and stuff, fantastic. But, you know, this is the route that we're going to go down.
Yep.
You want to help me make more money, you can assist me with marketing.
Yeah. As in Australia, the government, it's actually government policy to keep an unemployment rate of at least 3% just to suppress wage growth. It's government policy. Tristan says, what if it's not a purely economic question? What if breaking down the nuclear family is worth the cost, especially as it's just taxpayer dollars being spent?
Well,
I
that
think
was my
that's
point.
What Disco was,
Yeah.
That's what Disco was saying.
That was my point exactly. Was there has to be another reason because it doesn't make sense economically. So either it's incompetence or it's we are deliberately trying to break down these this family closeness.
Yeah, it's either one of those, or possibly what I was suggesting, somehow a way of funneling the tax back into corporate hands through the childcare scam, or some combination of all of the above.
And on top of that, we also got to remember that, you know, grandmothers traditionally probably would have picked up a bit of the slack around, you know, once they kind of got into toddlerhood. Well, now grandmothers are having to work until they're practically dead, and so they're not going to be babysitting the grandkids either.
Yeah. Well, was it France or England that wanted to make the retirement age for men older than the life expectancy?
I don't know. It won't be long till that's everywhere, I don't think.
But meanwhile, we can bring in 100 million refugees and pay all of their expenses. Grandma is going to have to freeze to death this winter so that a family of refugees with 87 kids can have free council housing.
I wish you were joking. But you know, traditionally, you might very well have had that primary caregiver go at least partially back into work once the kid's in toddlerhood, because grandma would take him a couple days a week. But now grandma can't because grandma is stuck in the workforce too because she's not allowed to retire.
Yeah.
This all kind
Tristan
of
says
ties
baby
in.
boomer grandmothers don't have time for childcare. They've got generational wealth to waste on cruises and slot machines. Well, yeah, that's true, but do keep in mind that these days grandmothers are millennials. They're
No,
like
this
Bleach
upcoming
is,
lot
technically-
of grandmothers they don't have now. They're as poor as we are.
Yep. Yeah, like their grandparents are millennials now. Like Bleach is theoretically just old enough to be a grandparent with a reasonable delay, and he's a millennial. And yeah, millennials and Gen X have not had the deal that the boomers did.
I mean, even if they did manage to get a little bit of generational wealth and try and hand it down, the government would have it before it got here.
Yep. But inheritance tax is some great bullshit.
Yeah.
You already taxed it when it was earned, you fuckers. You've also got capital gains taxes. Like, you've already taxed it. No matter how they made the money, you've already had a go at it. And now you're after a second guy. Yep.
See, they were after
Tristan
people's
says-
savings recently as well, where they were like, all these people who decided to save and like put their money in like kind of safe saving accounts. You know, they don't have the best kind of return rate, but it's a safe savings. And they're like, what if we took that money and we put it on risky investments? It's like, it's not yours. Get your fucking eyes off of it.
Well, weren't they talking in the European Union about taking savings to fund the frigging war against sanity?
I wouldn't be surprised. The government seems to think that we're just piggybacks for the minute. It's walking piggybacks.
Yep.
It's not our fault that they made all these bad decisions and screwed the economy.
But no, yeah, we've got to suffer because they've made poor decisions. And because they've because they've allowed corporations to ship all the manufacturing to China because we don't have enough tariffs on China.
But now they're reading because Trump's putting tariffs on China.
No, not domestic manufacturing. What will we do if the people who live here can afford to eat? Tristan also says Gen X maybe tragically few women stay in families before 30. I think I did the research recently for one of my articles, and I think it was like the average age of a first mother is now like 27 or something.
I mean, to be fair, I was in my 30s, but I'll never own a house. I didn't really particularly want to have a kid when I didn't know if I was going to be able to afford the next rent hike.
Yep. Well, that's one of the...
And that is a big
that's
part of
essentially
it.
the point of your next article, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or one of the many.
One of them. One of them. But that definitely is a big part of it. You know, people are not necessarily going to want to start families before they're stable. And a lot of our generation, they cannot get stability.
No,
I mean, you
it's
don't
impossible.
necessarily have to be rich, as I mentioned in my article. Like, you don't necessarily have to be rich and well off, but you do want stability.
Mm-hmm. You at least want to be able to afford food this week. That would be nice. And like, there is a piece of shit house around the corner from me that it has one bedroom. It is a house. It's what we call a cottage in Australia, but it's a house. But it has one bedroom, and it is selling for $600,000 dues. The median wage in Australia is $65,000. So after the government robs you of at least 15 grand, you're left with 50k a year, and the house is 600k.
Mm-hmm. So
by that note, you should be, if you were to get a mortgage for that house today, you should have it paid off sometime by 2270.
Can you get down, please? Thank you.
They're going to end up with intergenerational frigging mortgages at this, right?
Mm.
Good morning, Blade.
Good morning, Blade. I think I'm gonna have to tell him to bring that toddler through in a minute. She's screaming bloody murder to it. She does not appreciate Daddy daycare.
It is very much 10 o'clock, Blade.
She's not having a tantrum, she's tired. She wants me.
Yeah.
Daddy daycare is really not cutting it for her.
Unfortunately, for the baby, Disco needs to try and make money. So baby can afford to not starve.
This is true. She said, "Oh, Mommy, cuddle." It was funny because last night she crawled over to him. She had a cuddle, and then she literally pushed past me, got into a bed, and went to sleep. But tonight, that's
and you can't
obviously
do
not,
that today.
That's obviously not an option today.
Oh dear.
Donald says, with the cost of everything, it's not strange for mothers to have kids in their mid-30s until them and their partners are financially stable. Well, yeah, that's the point. And also, you've also got to factor in that, thanks to, in large part to Tony Blair, most people now go to university. And so you've got people are in school until their mid to late 20s. You know, you've got to 18 in school, and then they're going to university. That's 3 or 4 years. And then the university's probably going to try and, you know, convince them that a master's or a PhD is a good idea. And so then you're looking at being in uni until you're like 27, 28, maybe even 30. Now you're coming out and you're trying to start your life in this economy. People who left school and just started working, like, they're a little further ahead, but they probably still haven't got their own house. Like, it's really not surprising. And you know, there is social housing over here, which is great, but if you're not like in special interest groups or have a kid or actively homeless, you're looking at years on that thing. Years on the list.
Yep.
So no, I'm not surprised. You know, and I know they're obviously, I'm not counting out the fact that there is a bit of a feminist push to, you know, I don't need no man, I don't need no kids, you know, childless life for me. But that's definitely not, I think, the average person. I think the average person is, they just can't get stable enough.
Yeah, and like it's just not possible. Like that $600,000 house I'm talking about. I don't live in a great area, and it's one fucking bedroom. Yet it's selling for 600,000. Median wage again 65,000 after tax. And I ran it through a mortgage calculator with the current interest rates because, funnily enough, we talk about cost of living a lot on Sultans, and the mortgage would be $1.2 million over the life of it, and I've been disconnected.
Uh-oh.
Thank you very much, Internet.
Let's give you another invite. Bezek. George, could you please get out of the way of the screen? I can't see. What does Donald says, child raising, when should biologically for the biological clock and time it took to learn a profession, the old structure of how to raise a family on a single income is the outdated model. Yes.
Unfortunately, it is because it's just, well, they basically decided, hey, look, here's double the workforce, so I have to pay them half.
Okay, come here. Come here. Wait for Bezek to download the dirt.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense financially. Like, if you're on the median wage, you will never own a home. So what's the point in trying? And then they wonder, oh, why are so many Zoomers just getting part-time work and living 5 to a house?
Now that does tie into my one of my next articles. Like, Zoomers have very much clocked out of the whole system at this point. They're just like, why the hell should we? And
Yeah.
you see the boomers on the news channels, even the right-wing news channels, are like, how do we force these people back into the workforce? It's scandalous that they, 1 in 4 of them says that they don't want to work. And it's like, well, why should they? Why would they want to work? What?
Yeah.
Why? Why would they?
Well, that's it. Why would they work full-time hours, at minimum full-time hours, really hard to never be able to afford a home, when they can work just enough to afford a room and then have plenty of time for hobbies? Why the fuck would you? Why would you? I mean, that's kind of the situation where I'm in at the moment, where it's like, I need more work for, because the cost of living is ridiculous, but I just don't have the capacity to make bank. So it's like, why would I, when I was working full-time in the call centre, I barely had more money because after tax.
Well, that's the thing. You can
Like,
work
why would I
full-time,
work full-time?
and you can be still, after tax, you're still paycheck to paycheck, just barely scraping by. No prospect of buying a house. Like, most of your wages going on your rent. And you're just like, well, what exactly is the point? What exactly is the point? Like, I just seem to be barely keeping my head above water, even with, 40 hours a week. So what's the point? I'm not gonna come away from this with the whole having to get a cheap second-hand bloody car on finance because, there's no chance of me even outright paying for, like, a 10-year-old car. That's just not in the budget, And so, you see
tell me
these,
about it.
these
My
Zoomers,
car's
and they're
also
like,
just playing up.
of course they don't want to work. Of course they don't want to waste their lives doing 40 hours a week to have nothing to show for it. You're not going to strong-arm them back into work by calling them lazy. Like, the boomers on the news and the talk show channels, they've really missed the point here. Like, you're not going to shame them back into work because they don't see the point.
And it's a legitimate point of view. If the outcome of working hard, minimum 40 hours a week is still not being able to afford a house, why fucking bother? Why not work 2 days a week, share a room with a bunch of other dropped out Zoomers, and then spend the rest of your time playing the fucking guitar or something?
But yeah, exactly.
And yeah, like on the whole second-hand car thing, I had to get a loan from a friend to buy my piece of shit 30-year-old crappy car. Well, 20-year-old car. But now it's like I need to get work done on the friggin' alternator. That's gonna be fucking like $500 to $600. So all that money I'm going to earn working in the federal election, fucking gone immediately.
Yep. And this is the problem. So I know I don't blame the Gen Zers who are just like, I do not want to participate in whatever you've got going on here. You know,
Yep.
maybe
It's
back
like,
in your
okay,
day,
so the
Mr.
deal
Boomer,
is,
you could.
I work really hard for 40 hours a week, and at the end of it, you tell me to die because you can't afford my healthcare. Excellent, good job, thank you, Canada. But yeah, legitimately, a mortgage for a one-bedroom fucking cottage, $1.2 million over the life of it. Like, in what fucking universe is that reasonable?
Whereas, and again, this is what the boomers kind of miss, I think.
It's dumped me out again.
That we,
That's really helpful.
Yeah, that's great. Good job, Power Rush. That, you know, back in their day, you'd be looking at, you know, houses were like maybe tens of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Their necessities weren't too bad in terms of how much they cost, but their luxuries were really expensive. So, you know, a TV could be a couple of years of savings. Whereas for us, our luxuries are pretty cheap. We can buy a TV at the local supermarket for 50 quid, but we can't afford our house. We can barely afford our rent because the price of our necessities are through the roof. So I think sometimes they look and they're like, oh, well, you're just wasteful with your money. Look, you've got a TV, you've got a computer. Like, you're obviously you've got a mobile phone. Obviously just wasting your money. If you saved, you'd be able to have the house. And it's like, there is no amount of TVs that I couldn't have that would allow me to buy a fucking house.
Yeah, how many TVs do you think I could get for $600,000? It'd be more than 6,000 TVs.
I think that's what the disconnect is. So they're still in the mindset of, oh, if you just get a job and you just work hard, like, you'll get a house. I did it. It's like, yeah, you did it a couple decades ago, mate.
You did it in a completely different paradigm. I mean, we're talking about an era where being a postman with a stay-at-home wife you could afford to buy a house. It's like, I'm sorry, what? if I could work a menial job, because let's be real, being a postman, while an essential job previously was just a menial job, like, cool. If I could work 40 hours a week and then have a home, a house, easily. Yeah, well, no shit, of course I would, but now it's like, yes, we need you to pay $1.2 million for this one-bedroom piece of shit. It's like, cool, so where's the benefit to me? If I had $1.2 million, I'd be looking at investment visas in other countries.
Well, no doubt, like, at least here, like, I wouldn't have $1.2 million for very long because the government would find an excuse for it to be their $1.2 million.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yes, George.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Tristan says he started planning his exit. If he sold his condo in Ottawa and paid off the balance of the mortgage, he'd have enough cash on hand to buy a 3-bedroom farmhouse with some land in Tuscany. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good plan. Yes, George.
George, did you need to song?
Yes, of course he did.
He has to join the pile. I've already got Gracie sitting on me because apparently she's only going to sleep on me. I'm glad we set up Bezek now. Like, maybe to move
Bezek has been
out
very
of the
helpful.
way of the- uh-oh, that's not what we wanted.
What else do we have? I don't. Did you? I don't think we haven't read that chat. Blade says he was in a prime position to buy 2 years ago. Then he got made redundant. Yep, that sounds about right.
And again, that's
And
you have to not only be in a good position to buy, but like you gotta have enough
you
savings
have to be in that
just
good
in
position.
case something goes wrong, because you get sick, in case you lose your job. It's not just a case of. Now, in the case of having kids, who you take the financial hit of one parent being away from work for that period of time. What if it's a difficult birth? And there's sickness trying to be taken off too. You can't just have, even if you did get the house, you've got to be aware that mortgage has got to be paid.
Yeah. Donald also said he was in a position where he had enough to make a first payment for a mortgage, if not for the economy under Trudeau and Canada reign. It did not help how expensive small houses in Canada now. Yeah, I think Canada's slightly worse than Australia from what I've seen on the internet. And real estate's a mess of how much inflation has affected the base cost to getting a mortgage in 2024 than it was in 2014. Yeah.
And I know previously, over here they had right to buy with some of the council houses. So like if you lived in a council house for like a really long time, eventually you get a discount on it. Labour came in and was like, oh no, we can't be having that.
Yeah, how dare we help poor people own a
We
home?
wouldn't like people to own those houses. Those are our houses. Of course, it's not like they don't just take that money and
Fully
or
featured
shouldn't take that
industrial
money and
omnibus.
reinvest it in building houses. No. We can't have the plebs owning our houses. That's like what happened.
And we are disconnected again. Oh dear. So the internet is angry at us today.
It is.
Oh dear. But yeah, I'm pretty checked out on the whole full-time employment idea.
Yeah, that's the same too. I'm glad I kind of went into self-employment and was just like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Hopefully make enough to live on. Like, do it around the little one so that she actually gets all the attention that she needs and doesn't have to be left with strangers and at cost of childcare. Of course, I'm quite sure the government won't give me that cost that they were going to give me anyway for childcare. As a thank you for saving them that money.
Yeah. But yeah, like I spent 3 years working at the call center, got promoted 3 times. And would you like to guess how much I had left in savings when I quit?
Was it a big round 0?
It was 3 years of full-time work, working to the level that got promoted 3 times. And what I have to show for it? Fucking nothing. Nothing except crippling depression and a hatred of the company that's going to last until the end of time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, good luck getting savings. Good luck getting savings when most, even what should be a decent wage job, is paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, the desync's going pretty hard. I don't think I can even pick up and place the ladders properly. Nope. I may be fully desynced now.
It's not so good.
No. Hey, I did manage to get the ladder down. It's a miracle.
I've had to stop moving because I have the little monster on me.
You have 2 little monsters on you, don't you?
Yes, I do actually. I wasn't counting George. I may be able to reach. Did I reach the keyboard now that she stopped wiggling? Me.
Tristan asked, was the work its own reward? Was it a debt collection call centre or a trick a retiree into buying me gift cards call centre? It was for the unemployment office, so the second one. And I'm disconnected.
I don't know why it doesn't like you.
But the job, the workplace was so good that dealing with people on the unemployment on the phone was less annoying than dealing with my co-workers. And management. Dear God, management was a shit show. There's a reason that company gets low reviews on all the job review websites. Unable to connect to the host. I think that there is interference. We are not being allowed to play.
Might have to restart the game.
Possibly. We can certainly give it a try.
Actually, it's really difficult to do any of this while you're there.
And Bezek doesn't work so good when Bezek gets desynced.
It doesn't have right. Oh, stupid chair. Right. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to be a bed.
Oh, I managed to get back in. Hallelujah.
I had not
Let's see
set
how long
myself
that lasts.
up as a bed.
As a cat owner, you should be used to being in an impromptu
I
bed.
know, but like with this one, I have to like. I'm not gonna try and make her a pillow because she's leaning on the arm that I need for the mouse.
Well, that does present a problem, doesn't it?
It does. I'm trying to like get her a pillow so I can have my arm back.
Bleach is back and he says he blames Trudeau. Even out of politics, he's the problem. Is he out of politics?
He quit, didn't he? He resigned.
He stepped down as Prime Minister, but he only left like a week or two ago from that job. But I think he's still a full-time piece of shit. I mean, Member of Parliament.
No, he's probably at the WEF with the rest of them.
Well, he was working for them to start with, so it wouldn't surprise me.
That's
But
what I mean.
I don't know if
He's
he's actually lost his seat as an MP yet. Hopefully he does after this federal election that they're apparently having this month.
Guess we will see. But we know he's got a cushy job at the WEF.
Oh,
Waiting for him.
absolutely.
In White Pills, though, apparently Klaus Schwab has stepped down.
Yay, I wonder which psychopath he's going to get replaced with.
Probably bloody Tony Blair.
Chester says he's out. No one's going to be calling him up to take advantage of his prodigious intellect. It's not his intellect they're after. It's his connections to his communist father. It's interesting. Both of Trudeau's rumoured fathers are communists.
Both of his rumoured fathers.
Oh dear.
Charles said real estate is a mess for how much inflation had affected the base cost to get into getting a mortgage in 2024 than it was in 2014. Well, yeah, that's like if you have sort of like a bunch of people living on the same street that bought their houses at different times, like they could find themselves in wildly different positions to basically own the same house. Like, say a boomer couple owned one of the houses on the street and they bought it like 50 years ago. Compared to somebody who buys the house next door now. Like, not only the price difference they're gonna pay for it, but like the percentage of their wages that mortgage will be. Because our wages have definitely not gone up to the extent that the housing prices have gone
Well,
up.
that's it. It's going to be something like 30-40% of his income for the mortgage, maybe less. Nowadays, it's like 60% of both people's income, which isn't sustainable. And again, like we've talked about, it's like, who wants to have a kid in a fucking apartment? So people are like, oh yeah, I'll have a kid once I've got a house. It's like, okay, cool. So again, we'll check back in 2275.
Yeah. And then everybody's like, oh, well, why are women not having kids until their 30s? It's like, because they're still living with roommates in their bloody 20s.
Oh, I've lost Disco. Discord has roboted out.
I'm still here.
And the game has dropped me out. Something on the internet between the two of us is freaky.
Bezek, go and kick the router.
I am poking the router. Work, you bastard.
I mean, I am making the assumption that it's your rear.
I pay an ungodly amount of money to have my own router. Oh dear. What do we got? Bleach says too bad Class's replacement will be twice as evil. That's how Bond villains work. Yeah. And Blade says back. The baby woke up. Then Blade went for a shower. And Disco, he sent you cool pictures.
I can try and have a look.
I wonder if they're baby pictures. They're probably baby pictures.
Being a bed. Oh, what's this? It looks like meat.
Ooh.
What were you cooking? They're just sending pictures of meat. I'm not sure what kind of meat he's cooking, but it looks tasty. Pork belly.
Pork belly.
I love pork belly.
Ooh. I'd like to be able to afford good meat.
Now you remind me. I'm fairly. Don't bite me. I'm fairly sure that I have
Disco.
pork belly.
Oh, for fuck's sake! An action timed out again.
Oh.
This is
Bezek,
getting.
no, you pulled the headphones out. I'm running blind. I can't hear the Bezek anymore.
Hello, George.
I'm gonna need you to not press the buttons, Adam. There we go. I can hear. I think I can hear again. Basically, just pulled the headphones out and then like pressed the key on the keyboard that paused everything.
Oh dear.
Okay, what's the problem? What's the problem? You're tired, I know. That's why you were going to bed with Daddy, remember?
Oh dear.
Would you like Daddy to take you to bed? Let's ask Daddy to take you to bed. Oh, here he comes. You've been asleep.
No. I've heard him back.
She's really drifty. She might, if you cuddle her, she might fall asleep.
Hey, hello, Papa.
Oh, George.
Her eyes are closed, yeah. I don't know if she'll let you put her down, but she might sleep on you. I'm free.
Yeah.
She really hates me coming through here on a Sunday and playing Power Wash Sim. She's like, no, cuddle time.
Yeah. Oh dear.
You need him back in, or did you rejoin? You rejoined.
I have rejoined. It turns out I could rejoin on you.
LGM
So I didn't need
says,
to wait for the
George is
invite.
being extra vocal today. He is. It's because he's hungry. And I was like, you know what? I'll feed you after the stream. Because then you'll talk to me all the way through the stream and make Jack happy.
Yep.
George doesn't like
It is
to
unfortunate for George that he's worth more money hungry.
Yes. Feed me, feed me. Feed me, please.
Oh dear. The life of a cat owner, eh?
Yeah. You definitely
Jesus,
don't want to
this map's
forget
big.
to feed them before you go to bed, though. Otherwise, they'll pass to the live hour you feel right. You'll wake up
Oh, I
like,
have been
sat on
woken
you,
up
like,
with
feed
teeth
me.
embedded in my face for a cat that wants breakfast, so yeah. It's fun waking up with a cat chomping down on your fucking nose.
Yeah, George used to do that when he was younger. Like 5 in the morning, feed me, human.
Yeah.
And hear the kissy,
Yeah,
you do
if-
hear the kissy. George! I poke him when he squeaks.
I love that he not responds when he's called.
Yeah, he does. You can
He's
have
like,
whole
"What
conversations
woman?"
with George. He's not doing it in the minute, but like, you talk to him and he responds to every word. And then he'll start to fall asleep and then he'll go, because he's still got to get the last word in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
LGM says his cat taps him on the cheek with his claws as he's asleep, makes him jump. Oh, you only get tapped. Yeah. Wait till you have just a cat in bed, both sets of teeth straight in your fucking face. That wakes you up.
To be fair, my old cat Leo, he was a tapper. He likes to pat you when he wanted your attention, so you get this big. And he had paws like shovels, because I'm quite sure he might have been part Scottish wild cat, because that cat was not a normal size. But when he wanted your attention, he would pat you on the cheek with his paw. Like, you'd wake up, and he'd be lying on your chest again, like a mini tiger. Like he was not a small cat. You're lying on your chest, and then he would like reach up and put his paw on your face. And then if that didn't wake you up, he'd take his paw back and he'd put it back on your face, and he'd be like, tap, 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 tap,
Yeah.
tap.
Well, my cat has figured out that if he sits on the bed behind the chair, he can reach over my shoulder and slap me in the face from behind. He's a big cat.
If George really wants
convinced
my
he's not
attention,
Malcolm Lyon.
sometimes he will actually grab my hair and pull it.
Oh, you little shit. Well, living the cat life.
He bites my ear if the taps don't work, though. The cat I had when I was a lot younger, he was a little weirdo. The sweetest little cat, but an absolute little weirdo. And you know how some cats, like, they never grow out of, like, the kitten suckling that they do? And they might suck on a t-shirt or something. Well,
Yep.
he had that, but he didn't have a preference for t-shirts. He had a preference for eyebrows, and if he couldn't find an eyebrow, then an ear would do. And so frequently, you would wake up in the middle of the night with a cat on your face, trying to suckle your eyebrow. And so you'd be like, ah, you'd hide your face, and then suddenly you'd hear in your ear as he's trying to suck your earlobe. Almost every morning, that's what he did. And at the same time, we had his brother was a t-shirt sucker, and so you'd have the other cat trying to suck your t-shirt, making it all soggy. You're like, why did all these cats try to latch onto these parts of me? Yeah. They were a horrendous pair. There were just happened to be two cats that never really grew out of it, and as I say, he had a preference for eyebrows, which is a bit bizarre. He's like, I really like a good eyebrow.
That's fucking weird.
So he'd always try to pounce on you while you were asleep because you didn't get as much opportunity to object.
Oh, that's brilliant.
LGM says he bites my ear if the taps don't work. And he says he will also claw you if you don't look at him when petting him. If you lose focus when petting him, you get a bunch of mini knives in your hand. Actually, my two are pretty good. They don't really claw or bite very much. Like, the only time you'll ever get clawed by George is if he falls on you. Like, if he's clumsy, he'll get you with a back claw. I've never seen him actually take his claws to anybody. You do sometimes, Mr. Oscar. But only in a playful way. Oscar's a spiky, playful cat. Like, he never learned to keep the claws in while he's playing.
Yeah. There's something seriously wrong with the connection today.
You gone again? Let's go.
Yep. And you got cut out as well. There's something somewhere between Australia and England that's fucking with things.
I don't think it's me, but I can't rule it out.
I assume it's one of the intermediate servers for the game, or Steam or something.
It could be me. Am I lagging, chat? I could be lagging, I don't know. This is where our fine child will be like, yeah, we haven't been able to hear you for the last 10 minutes.
Bloody chats. Just like how it's like, oh, we don't hear the music.
Yeah, we don't hear the music. Oh, I'll turn up. No! No, you do hear it. The buggers. I don't like this map. This map's very kicked on.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. And unable to join session. Right, let's do it again, game. Able to connect to the host again. Let's try this the third time.
If I quit and go back in, I don't know if it'll keep the progress with it.
It should. I think it's supposed to store the progress for you, unless you try play one of the other levels. Oh no, it's downloading dirt again now.
Hooray, download that dirt. We're on 91%, that's why I don't want to necessarily lose the progress.
No.
Let's pretend it's
Oh
done.
god. We
do need
should
to
have
decide on the
brought
next
more
game.
friends for this level. Yes, we do. But chat's not providing suggestions. We've got Viscera cleanup details suggested by myself and Shrim, which I don't know if it's just going to be as fun to watch, or fun to watch at all, but it's at least chill and cleany.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily need to be cleaning. It's a shame that the house flipper isn't co-op, because I know that especially the gardening DLC, it's very much like you just you just sit there and mow the lawn and stuff. But
Yeah, that'd probably be
that's not
pretty
good.
interesting.
I'm not playing chain together. I want something chill.
No.
Plus, if the baby starts squeaking,
we're required
I really
to have something
can't.
chill, yeah.
If she starts squeaking, chain together just really isn't gonna work.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's much the same for Portal 2. If the baby starts squeaking, Disco has to attend to the baby, and then Bezek can't do anything. Which,
There's got to be
we need
something
we
that
need
I
a
can
game that
switch
can
to
have
Bezek
Bezek.
cam, and it's not really gonna affect the gameplay too much. If I'm just like, alright, I need to take 5 minutes out.
Yeah, so it needs to be something chill. Super chill. And like... oh, actually, something that did come to mind is... fuck, I've fallen off. Does Stardew Valley have a co-op mode?
I think so, yeah. It does.
So, I mean, it could be something like that, potentially. Oh, this freaking level.
In fact, there was one I played, it was on Game Pass not that long ago, and it was very kind of
Oh, yeah.
Stardew Valley-like, but it was 3D.
That could be interesting too. There's a few of those out there.
I wouldn't mind Raft as a game, but it gets very
Exciting.
it loses its novelty after the first hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to play something like that, like, I think Subnautica might be up there. I don't know if it's got co-op, but
I don't think it
it's
does.
very much not chill. That's a shame. But, yeah, it's very not chill.
Stardew Valley
Donald
can
reports
have up to
Stardew
4
Valley.
players co-op. Yeah, it has to be something
could
that
be
I can eat, that I can just kind of go AFK and stand and want not get eaten and do. It's not going to affect your gameplay, so that we can focus on your gameplay.
Exactly.
Forever Skies.
I've not heard of Forever Skies. What is Forever Skies? Oh, yes, George.
Hello, George.
We need to... We'll give George a controller.
Meow. To you too. He's like, shut up and
Let
feed
me have a quick Google. What is Forever Skies? It's an action survival game taking place on Earth.
See, I would say something like Dungeons 4, but I'm currently not in the market for paying $40 for £40 for it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I've already played most of that campaign.
I don't see why that's a problem.
No. It's not, I wouldn't consider it chill either, unfortunately. It's pretty on the ball. Especially when... I think co-op locks one of you into the overworld, one into the underworld, so...
Does it? It never...
All of us
3 didn't do that.
Oh, did it not do that? I thought you guys...
That's
oh,
kind
did
of
you guys
how we
just
played
impose
it.
that
I
as
just kind of left
Right.
Trim to the house. You know, we were like, we'll leave Trim at
Okay.
home to be the homemaker, and I'll go out and
bye, Marky.
kill the heroes.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't
Okay.
lock us like that. That's just tended to
Right.
be how we ended up playing it, so we didn't annoy
Yeah.
each other. It's like, if you stay down there and do this, and you stay here and do this, then we'll be less annoying with one another.
Yep. Makes sense.
How to train your Bengal,
I've-
that's not chill.
Yeah. So Garajim says that Forever Skies is a bit mediocre, but mostly exploration focused. Speaking of, that does remind me that I think Satisfactory got its 1.0. And that's... Well, that does have some enemies. You really only deal with them when you go out and find them on purpose.
That's an option.
And it has trains.
What's the price tag on that looking like?
Good question. Hopefully it's pretty cheap. Oh, for fuck's sake, game.
We will never know. Co-op farming simulator. I mean, I'm not against the idea. And I did briefly open Farming Simulator on the Game Pass, and after about an hour of wandering around trying to figure out where you're supposed to start, I gave up.
I tried a demo of the latest Farming Simulator
demo,
game, and then I turned all the graphics to low, and I got a frame rate in the single digits. So, no.
I mean, I did alright with the frame rate. I just couldn't figure out like how I was supposed to get the equipment to do what I needed to do.
Donald says Space Engineer 1 and 2 is a fun multiplayer game. Space Engineers is on the list for the full crew, I think.
I'm a bit
Because we
confused.
managed to talk Trim into participating.
I seem to have lost my power washer.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah, you might have to the last few percent. I've legitimately lost my power washing gun.
What the hell is
Oh, I
that?
think she's just noticed that I gave it back to my daddy.
Oh no. Oh dear. Yeah, Space Engineers is a pretty good game. Lots of fun to be had. So it would be nice to play that with Trim along to pilot
Yeah,
things.
Yeah, we kind of want to make Trim be the test pilot.
Yep. We're gonna need to build a recovery ship. Like decked out like a tow truck with orange flashy lights to go just pick up the rubble every time I go take swipe.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know why my power washer is gone. I think it's been confiscated.
Yeah, the game must be super freaking out because of the connection issues.
Space Engineer 1 and 2. Yeah, I do want to do Space Engineer, but I want to do it with Trim because we really need to send him off to be our test dummy.
Yep. Just strap a bunch of engines and missiles to him and throw him in the general direction of the AI. If we choose to play it with the AI. I'm not... It could just be fun trying to give Trim a mining ship. Oh, is that the mine? No, that's the crater where Trim forgot how to land. Oh dear. But yes, it's definitely on the list, so it's a good suggestion. But at least we do have a few more levels than what I thought left in this one. If we can ever fucking finish one.
That is true.
I keep disconnecting.
I've
Disco
lost my
doesn't
power
have-
washer.
Oh, fuck's sake. I'm starting to get a bit cranky now.
Let's see what we've got on the old Steam list. Maybe chat can
Oh,
tell
for
me
fuck's
if
sake, I'm able to connect to the host. What's on my wish list? I think I have a couple of co-op games on the wish list.
You're supposed to be finishing the power washing.
Yeah, if the game would let me back in. So, while I'm sitting here waiting for it to throw error messages at me.
Window. Let's have a look at Steam.
Oof. Oh, fuck's sake.
Let's have a look at Steam. What have we got in the old library? That might be of use.
Oh dear. If you can see on Bezek camera, I'm just getting constant unable to connect to host issues. That's such fun.
This is why I've gone onto Steam so that we can look at games because I can't clean because my my finger's missing. Could you please get down? We're Barrow Tower, that's a good game. It is by nobody's definition chill though.
Yeah.
Trying to think what's a chill game. That Blood Bar is a nice little chill game, but I have finished
If
it.
I tick games that Discordia also has.
Oh, I was just looking. Oh, let's just
Yeah.
look down there. That would probably be chill.
Hey, I'm finally back in the game.
Woohoo!
Climbing up the
can I
incredibly
filter the
ladder.
co-op? That is a question. Advanced filtering
You can,
options.
but the co-op tag is wrong.
Okay.
Because a bunch of competitive multiplayer games are tagged as co-op.
Right. Bear that in mind. How are we going co-op?
Oh dear.
It's the Age of Empires games. Those are
Yes,
pretty
because
chill.
they're known to be co-op.
I mean, you can play them together on other
Yeah.
teams.
Oh dear. Oh, for fuck's sake. There's Valheim, funnily enough, is on the list, but again, that's coming soon with the boys.
Yeah.
Yes, Stuart. We need to get the picture frame mod working, if only so we can stick pictures of George all over the place.
We do.
And fan
Creeper
art.
World,
because
that is
apparently-
actually a really little chill game. I don't know if you've ever played Creeper World 4, but it's actually
I
really
have.
fun.
It is really fun. I don't know if I'd call it chill. Some of the levels are freaking intense.
I think they're
But it
pretty
is
chill.
really good.
But yeah, and also there's always new levels in it because there's like a daily level. So that's an option if we really run out of things. Could you not climb on things? Could you not?
I don't think he's capable of not.
So Creeper World 4, that's definitely it. No. Right, enough. Dismissed.
Yeah,
King
I wasn't
George.
aware it had co-op.
Oh yeah, it does, because we played it, Bickering Bunch, we played it as co-op.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can definitely do that as co-op.
That's cool.
Deep Rock Galactic, somewhat chill. Although you might
Yeah.
struggle if there's a wave and I have to deal with the little one.
Yeah.
But you
I
could
think that
always
was also
dance
on
on
the
the
list
dance
to
floor.
play with the other two children.
With the other two children. That Dinkum's quite chill. I don't know if you've played that. I think it has co-op.
Which one?
Dinkum? It's a kind of.
God,
It's
yeah.
it's I believe it's basically Australia.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I think I've seen. I have seen
It's-
some videos on that.
It's Stardew Valley like, where you're building a little village
Yeah.
and whatnot, and going off and doing quests and collecting items. And yada yada.
That could be
So,
interesting if it's got an actual co-op and isn't just
option.
lying.
I think it does. It claims it does. Love Don't Starve, but it's not chill.
Yeah.
Divinity Original Sin, definitely not chill. That is a friendship ender.
Yep.
Game was a friendship engine.
Yep. Well, like, I can't even... Trim's playing it with Rosa. Or Jenny or whatever. Wait, her channel's going by now.
I think it's this.
And... I tried to watch it and I got maybe 10 minutes in because it's like, no, can't watch other people play RPGs. Nope.
Gradrim says, Averion? Interesting, very different, but not pause friendly fully. Medieval Dynasty, not very combat oriented. V Rising, I do love V Rising. That one possibly is an option. Left 4 Dead may be a fun game for playing when you have 2 or more people. Maybe Eco's pretty chill. I don't know if you played Eco, but probably
I've
need more people
seen
kind of
it.
dotting about on the server for that. Even if they're
Yeah.
not live, you kind of need a community. Although it could be one that we could maybe open up to some of the people in chat to just put it on the server.
Is that the one that has a time limit?
Yes. So the server would probably have to be down when we're not playing, but or we put a really long time on it or something. I'm not sure.
Essentially, put the time limit to infinity.
Yeah, so we might.
That could potentially work.
Have some people on for that. Although I could probably talk to Fairman, and he'd probably find some people to play because Fairman absolutely loves Eco.
My chat's suggesting we commit war crimes in Minecraft.
I mean, there's always that. But the problem with Minecraft, as much as I like Minecraft, is I'm either going to spend the entire stream strip mining for diamonds, which is not going to be very interesting to watch, or I'm going to be like, I'm going to make this really fancy redstone device. You're going to watch me troubleshoot it for the next 4 hours.
And my problem with Minecraft is I have the creativity of a wet rock.
You could design the minecart system.
Whee! Yeah, it's not complex enough. That's why it needs to be something like Satisfactory. That's actually got trains.
There's always Euro Truck Simulator.
That's not co-op, is it? Not by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't know. It's coming up under the co-op tag. I put co-op.
Yeah, I think that's a lie. I think there was a mod to make it have like open servers, but I don't think I've ever heard of it actually having co-op.
Terraria. Yep, there is Terraria.
Yeah. I have heard that it's fun to play as a group, but I don't know if it counts as chill. But apparently it is very good. No, I haven't played it, but I've heard good things.
Goat Simulator, is that co-op? I guess it maybe
I
is.
guarantee it's not.
I don't know, it can't be any harder
I
to
don't
put
think going
two.
medieval's co-op either.
I don't know, it's literally, like, I put the co-op tag
It's
on.
way too... Yeah.
I
Like
know
I said,
Graveyard Keeper's not co-op.
Graveyard Keeper's...
I think
It's
that's
a really
bullshit,
good game, but
to
it's
be
been
honest.
slow. You are.
Or is it only filtered the ones down here? Because that would be nonsense. Because I'm looking at the pictures.
I think it's supposed to filter both, but yeah.
Oh, never mind. We'll just keep looking. We kind of know which ones would be co-op. Meow. Meow. To you too.
Halo's co-op, but it also comes with a small problem. I did a full playthrough of the entire Master Chief Collection with Trim. And it's definitely not chill.
I would
Oh,
say.
that's Hogwarts Legacy. How's Hogwarts Legacy fucking co-op?
Yeah, I think it's bullshit, to be honest. Green Hell, yeah, that is a co-op game. And to be honest, it's a fairly good co-op game, but it gets very grindy in the end. Where you just kind of like. I like that it's story based, kind of like Sons of the Forest, where you're kind of progressing the game by doing the story. But then a lot of the time, you're just like, oh, I have illness, wash hands. Now I'm hungry. Now I have to build a house. Oh, I have illness, wash hands. And you just, the gameplay loop is so. Like, to the point that it's not survival, it's just annoying. They kind of need to tweak that down a little bit. Kerbal Space Program. I mean...
In what universe is that co-op?
That's right. Somebody made like a mod, didn't they, that was kind of co-op.
Oh dear, I don't know if my chat can hear, but you keep cutting out for me as well, which is fun. I think the internet's actually getting worse because I got back into the game and like 6 seconds later, it's starting to look that way. Unless we want to try closing both programs and attempting that, because either way, it's looking like we're going to lose the progress if it gets lost. I think it saves it, but Yeah, unable to connect to the host
Right, or we
constantly.
can just call it.
I'll see how this. You know, actually, it's probably better to just call it. Because it's not working great. Oh, it's loading the dirt this time.
Wee. Nightingale, I think, is multiplayer. It's quite an interesting concept.
Okay, I'm back in the game. Let's see how long it takes me to desync this time.
Zomboid, that's not really very chill.
I think it does at least have co-op, but yeah, it's not remotely chill.
No, not chill. It's got to be something where if I have to step away, that I'm not going to come back and you're like, for fuck's sake, we're all dead.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking, like, the Viscera cleanup detail, which is basically this, but with lots of blood and a mop instead of a power washer.
I mean, there is
Or
Soul
maybe
Mask.
Satisfactory or something.
Soul Mask is actually, we were playing that recently, me and Jack, and it's actually really good. It's kind of like Conan Exiles, but rather where you make non-consensual friends, but it's rather than just kind of taming them, you're kind of mind fucking them. And you can also steal their entire body too.
Everything
if you
is
want.
kind of like. Because clearly the internet is getting worse because it's interrupting Discord as well. So and it's kicking out again. So I think we might have to call it.
That's fine.
It's just frustrating.
Well,
Grumpy
chat,
internet.
if you have any more suggestions for what we can play instead of Power War Simulator, because we're scraping the bottom of the DLC barrel now.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. We'll see if we can figure out. I might put a poll up at some point if we narrow it down. Because I really don't know. I'm not sure what we can play next, but I'm sure we'll find something.
Yes, we'll have something at least.
Yes.
But for now, Bezek's going to get very angry at the internet, so...
It might be my internet. I can't rule out that it's mine. But...
it might be neither of ours. It could be something in the middle, because I look at OBS, and it's literally 0 drop frames, so it's probably something silly in between us. Somewhere between England and Australia. Oh, it's the damn Russians and their spy boats cutting the undersea cable. That's what it is. Do you have your 72 hours of food prepared?
That it's totally, we're not having blackouts because we fucked up the entire power system and closed power plants and didn't replace them with nuclear. No, it's because the Russians are gonna cut the supply line to our emergency supply that's not actually ours.
Yeah. Well, apparently they were going after the undersea internet cables instead. That's what we can do. We'll blame the Russians for the stream issues.
Yes, let's blame the Russians. Blame the old...
Or as Fiston says, it's the CCP social credit system nudging us as we've used up all our game credits for the week. Oh dear.
But yeah, we'll call it there. And we will be back next week with probably a new game.
Yeah, that could be some good fun. Yeah. See you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.